We'll have a public hearing now on the budget. This is not a time for myself or other council members to discuss the budget. We'll be discussing it tomorrow, but it is a time for us to hear from members of the community. We appreciate that many community members want to speak because we expect the numbers will be very large. We already have more than 100 attendees. We're going to constrain public comment to 1 minute so we can ensure everybody can be heard before the conclusion of this hearing, and welcome your comments. I will note, as we have had episodes in the past, people using expletives, particularly racial epithets, we will be doing our very best to monitor and to cut off comments where that's happening. Thank you to the many members of the community for your patience with that. We know that it is a challenge, but this is the reality of operating in with this technology. Okay, so we have a need, I believe, for a roll call at this point. Tony?
Jimenez?
Present.
Morales?
Present. And Mayor, I did want to make one comment if possible after we do the roll call.
Okay, Dieppe?
Present.
Crosco?
Present.
Davis?
Here.
Esparza? Arenas? Foley?
Here.
Camus? Jones?
Here.
Liccardo?
Present.
We have a quorum.
Councilor Prowse, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to warn you. I actually just got an email earlier today from a constituent that was on last Friday, and I guess they may have engaged somehow with some of those participants that we had that were coming on, you know, saying some racial slurs, that they engaged somehow, whether it was through Zoom or afterwards, and they ended up having their home computer system hacked by them and all sorts of other bad things that happened. So it was just a warning that for individuals that are watching or participating by Zoom, you know, that they be aware, that they don't try to engage with anybody, right? And certainly people that they don't know or aren't aware of, whether it's through Zoom here or because of these meetings. So it was just, that's it. I know I heard from one constituent, so I just wanted to be able to make sure that that warning went out.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, then we'll go to the public. I'll call names as the little blue hands are raised on the screen. Thank you all for your patience. We know this will take some time given the number of folks who want to speak. So thank you, all of you, for waiting. I know many of you waited many hours last week to speak as well, so we try to do everything we can to hear from everyone. Bill Nguyen, welcome.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm speaking on behalf of the 17 Asian American legal orgs and 156 Asian American law students and lawyers who wrote you on June 12th. We're demanding that the disproportionate amount of general funding for the SJPD be reallocated to K-12 education, mental health resources, substance abuse treatment, and public housing. And I'm also speaking as a young man of color who grew up in a low-income apartment complex in San Jose and went to an under-resourced San Jose public high school. Police presence in my neighborhood and on my campus did not make me feel safe. It only made me feel nervous and afraid of myself. It only signaled that my city cared more about locking up my friends who got into fights than it did about fixing our swing sets, setting us on field trips, or helping our teachers get equipment for the science projects we paid for ourselves. Defund the police and refund our communities.
Thank you. Maria? Maria, you appear to be on mute right now. We're not able to hear you. Maria, I think we're still not able to hear. Nancy?
My name is Nancy Pfeiffer. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Business Services for the Campbell Union High School District. I'm here to advocate for Metro Ed and ask that you set aside $500,000 from your budget to continue to fund this program, this much needed program for students. It is going to be very difficult for us to explain to our communities why we have lost this center without this $500,000. The center will be lost, services will not be provided to students, and we so much need people that are plumbers and electricians and technicians. And without this center, our students are going to lose the opportunity to gain certifications in areas that are so much needed. And the amount that we need to keep this open so that we can continue to advocate at the Sacramento level to restore direct funding is only $500,000. So I'm asking that you please fund them. Thank you.
Thank you. The person with the phone number ending 4379.
Sam Ricardo, the Mercury News quoted you that the city is eliminating vacant positions, but your recent major report says you have 30 plus vacant officer or sworn positions. This is millions of dollars that will stay in the police department budget and go unused, even though it can be redirected to more important community initiatives. Or at a minimum, it can be transferred to fund the community service officers ongoing, not one time as proposed by Councilmember Perales. You mentioned your new Office of Racial Equity, but I'd like to let the public know that you voted against a pot of around $500,000 last year dedicated for these efforts. And now you're only creating this office as a response to the backlash. You're still only proposing $250,000 or about 2 positions for this effort. You continue to talk about housing in the context of all funds, but the fact remains that the general fund can be most easily redirected to any priorities, and you still only choose to invest 0.5% of it to housing. Even with all funds considered, housing is 25% of the budget for the police department. Just wanted to open some eyes on some of these facts of your
Thank you.
narratives. And
Thank you very much. AJ?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Ajay. I live in District 10, and I'd like to read you some publicly available numbers. Of a police department of over 2,000 city employees, 355 made over $200,000 last year, including Officer Jared UN. The median salary across the entire department is over $100,000. That's more money than the average income in the city of San Jose. As the son of a retired SJUSD teacher, I and many others can tell you that the average teacher makes half that amount and does a hell of a lot more to prevent crime and uplift communities of color than a badge and a gun. One last number. Mayor Ricardo has already received $50,000 from the police union this year alone. So I'll leave you with the question, where the fuck are our priorities? Black.
Sharisti? Welcome.
Hi, I'm Srishti, SJ Ray's current resident. Mayor, I have read your budget proposal, and I saw that you said from the few interactions you've had with Spanish-speaking mothers, they're asking for more police. However, someone working in low-income affordable housing communities, I know for a fact that those same communities are afraid of the police. They avoid police involvement at all costs. Many have faced incarceration themselves or know someone that has. So perhaps you're misguided in the needs of your own community. Please use your funds to create a new sector of responders that are police officers, but consist of local mental health organizations, sexual assault organizations, substance abuse organizations, and a network of shelters and halfway homes. Let's work on rehabilitation services and job opportunities for those leaving local prisons and jails. Really, we need fewer police officers with high salaries. Let's move away from the prison industrial complex. Implicit bias training is a front for the true problem. Race is not the only issue here. It is the economic models that aren't empowering the poor. This isn't just about defunding the police, but rather moving away from capitalistic gains and investing in our social services.
Thank you. Deborah?
This is Deborah. My name is Deborah St. Julian. I'm a member of Showing Up for Racial Justice at Sacred Heart, a resident of District 10, and a nurse practitioner for 30 years. I believe systemic racism and all its insidious manifestation in our city and our police department is a public health crisis. Therefore, I support the demands of the people of San Jose letter or memo supported to the council on June 11th, which calls for the leaders of San Jose to reduce funding and reallocate funds to alternative community-led alternatives to policing. This is a moment for humility and honest assessment of what is really happening in our police department and our communities, as these folks have been saying. It is not a moment for institutional defensiveness and protection of the broken status quo. I urge you to carefully consider the extensive data, reasoning, and demands in the People of San Jose memo.
Thank you. Brian?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Brian Parkman. I live in District 6 in San Jose, and I am part of the Silicon Valley Democratic Socialists of America. San Jose is cutting community equity, education, and safety initiatives such as Diva Parks, library hours, community service officers, park mains, and equity strategies for allocating funding. The police budget is nearly $500 million. By serving the community and feeding the police, San Jose is prioritizing an infrastructure of violence over peace and democracy. Also, $19 million of the CARE Act was being allocated to the police. So I ask the council to please defund the police. Thank you. I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you. Welcome, Wendy.
Good afternoon, Mayor Liccardo, City Council members, and City staff. I'm Wendy Mahaney-Gurahu, Deputy Chief of Early Learning at First Five. I'm here on behalf of Jolene Smith, CEO of First Five Santa Clara County, and I want to take a minute to give you our thoughts on the prioritization of childcare in the city's annual budget process. First, we'd like to give a special thank you to Councilwoman Arenas, City Manager David Sykes for continuing to recognize childcare as an important part of the COVID-19 pandemic response and the city's plan for economic recovery, as well as Mayor Liccardo for including childcare in his annual budget message. The proposed $1.5 million investment to stabilize family childcare home providers in the mayor's message is a strong step in the right direction. This business-to-business will support the city's values around equity, and the investment, if the investment does not occur, 67% of our providers will close. We want to strongly encourage every council member to support the proposed investment in the mayor's message. Thank you for consideration.
Thank you. Veronica, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mayor Liccardo, council members, and city staff. My name is Veronica, and I am an Eastside community member. I am calling on behalf of families, children, and family childcare providers. I am a parent of a child in childcare in District 5. I am very pleased to see Mayor Liccardo budget message. He has provided guidance on setting aside $1.5 million for support to family childcare providers, but it is not enough. My son has a disability, and childcare for him and us is not an option. Having to know that I can leave him with his provider who cares for him and will support him while I'm at work is beyond what I can ask. I urge you to protect our childcare and family childcare providers. We are investing in our future San Josean citizens and economy. Remember, when we invest $1 in childcare, the return in investment is $9. No math needed there. Thank you.
Thank you. Sandy Perry.
Hello. My name is Sandy Perry. I'm from Affordable Housing Network and Sham Deliverance Ministry. Millions of young people have taken to the streets. The last 3 weeks, they've presented the City Council an extraordinary opportunity. You have the opportunity to reject systemic racism. You have the opportunity to reject mass incarceration as a solution to social problems. 25% of the people incarcerated in the entire world are incarcerated in the United States. You have the opportunity to support the aspirations of your people who are demanding that Black and brown lives matter. You have the opportunity to stop criminalization of poverty and the idea that you can solve the problems of all those people of color that Google and Facebook refuse to hire by locking them up and throwing away the key. All these things require a paradigm shift, and a paradigm shift has a name. That name is to defund the police. Thank you.
Thank you. Caroline?
Hi, my name is Caroline McCusick. I'm speaking today in support of the letter sent on June 11th by the San Jose community to demand the defunding of the San Jose Police Department. One life taken is too many, but we know that the SJPD have murdered dozens of our neighbors just in the last few years. This is not surprising. This is what the police exist to do. The first police forces in this country were formed in the 19th century in the American South to prevent slave insurrections. What made these new police bodies different from the slave patrols that preceded them was that police officers were now being paid by the public to exercise state violence against Black people. By maintaining the police department, the city of San Jose is maintaining an institution founded to brutalize Black people and is standing on the wrong side of history. Police are not an inevitable part of our society, but a development tied to the rise of global anti-Blackness. It is long past time for San Jose to divest from police. Use those funds to invest in Black-led community organizations, redress the victims of police violence, and to support housing, mental health, parks, and libraries.
Thank you. Nikita?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council members. My name is Nikita Sinha, and I'm the Walk San Jose Program Manager with California Walks and a lifelong resident of San Jose. While the city has made good steps this year to invest in traffic safety, we continue to prioritize traffic enforcement, a system that perpetuates a cycle of racial bias and anti-Blackness. A 2017 study on SJPD's traffic stops showed that Black and Latinx residents are more likely to be stopped as drivers or pedestrians, and when they're stopped, they're more likely to be handcuffed or sat in the back of a police vehicle. Traffic enforcement is a reactive response that aims to punish rather than prevent injuries and fatalities. In order to reach the root cause of traffic crashes, our city needs to address the way streets are built and invest in safe and accessible design for our roadways. You can do this by defunding SJPD. Reinvest in the community resources we need to make our city truly safe. More than ever, our schools, libraries, community centers, mental health resources, and infrastructure need to be properly funded to support the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Annie, welcome.
Yes, I'm Annie with the Silicon Valley Democratic Socialists of America. You all on council act like defunding the police is a crazy idea which is going to cause chaos, but in reality, defunding is happening in our own backyard. And SF police will no longer be responding to non-criminal calls, and in LA, the police budget is being cut by over $150 million. Seems like most of you think you'll give almost $500 million to the police and keep your seats on council. Remember, those seats on council are not your seats, and the money in that city budget isn't yours either. It belongs to the people of San Jose, and you've heard our voices loud and clear. Use our money to pay for services that deal with the poverty and suffering here. Do not use our money to oppress us. Let me remind you again, the police department thought it was okay to show up in riot gear with tanks and start shooting tear gas like it was confetti less than a month ago. When you fund the police, you fund oppression, brutality, misconduct, and violence. Defund the police because the police are not the answer to all of our problems. Fund the rest of the answers too. Thank you.
Thank you. Crystal?
Demilitarize SJPD and reallocate funds to programs that benefit the citizens. After reviewing the proposed 2020-2021 San Jose budget, it is clear to me that the police budget itself is highly overinflated. As a citizen of the city of San Jose, I demand funding SJPD and reallocating funds to programs that benefit the citizens. I demand reallocating funds to Black-led community organizations. I demand providing immediate and long-term support for families, the many, many families impacted by police violence. I demand allocating grant funds to brown and other low-income communities, prioritizing area that are over-policed and under-resourced. I demand that you fund the development of a new sector of first responders to directly respond to 911 for help instead of police, vetted responders with training in mental health, violence, sexual assault, gender-based violence and abuse, and substance abuse. I demand you fund long-term mental health resources. Defund and demilitarize.
Thank you, Crystal. Welcome, Catherine.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I agree with the previous speakers. Instead of spending all this money on the police, we need to spend it on building a stronger community where where everybody has the opportunity to thrive and doesn't have to resort to crime to live on. We need to fund drug rehab instead of criminalizing using drugs. And anyway, I'm sorry, I forgot what I was going to say. I agree with the previous speakers. I yield my time. Thank you.
Thank you. Ben? Welcome.
Hello, council members. My name is Benjamin Landers, and I'm a resident of San Jose. I live in Council District 9, part of that of Councilwoman Foley. Hello, Councilwoman Foley. I am here to demand that funding is reallocated from the SJPD to social and public programming for our communities. Almost $500 million of San Jose citizens' money currently goes to police, more than the housing, parks, and recreation and transportation budgets combined. It's not just ridiculous, it's obscene. You have a historic opportunity to create a just, more equitable city. We stand with calls of those across the country and demand that the City Council defund and disband the San Jose Police Department and replace it with other social programs. We demand a budget that supports our communities rather than oppress them. Thank you.
Thank you. Nicole, welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thanks.
All right, great. Hi, my name's Nicole. I'm a resident of District 3 in downtown San Jose, and I'm an organizer with Surge at Sacred Heart, showing up for racial justice at Sacred Heart. So I'm calling today specifically about funding of SJPD. I was at several protests the weekend of May 29th, and I saw SJPD respond to peaceful protesters with force. It was scary, but what I experienced pales in comparison to what my Black, Indigenous, and people of color neighbors have experienced at the hands of SJPD. It's clear that the community does not trust SJPD, and rightfully so. I support the policy changes outlined in the People of San Jose demand letter, including but not limited to removing police officers from the force who were responsible for officer-involved shootings, eliminating paid administrative leave for officers facing misconduct charges, and funding a new sector of first responders to directly respond to 911 calls for help. In short, I support defunding SJPD and reallocating funds towards community-led alternatives to policing. Thank you.
Thank you. Jaritzi, welcome. Oh. Okay, Jaritzi, welcome. Jaritzi, you're still on mute, I believe.
Okay, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm from District 3, and first I want to thank Raul Perales for doing the right for the community in the past, and I hope that we can continue that legacy in the future. So the rest of my comment is for Licardo and the rest who share his perspective that was made in a recent article in Mercury News. So this is just, I just want to say, so for once in your career as a mayor, please listen to your constituents. We are yelling defund the police, and we are yelling it because Black Lives Matter. I read through the article in Mercury News, and every one of your reactions to this was completely misguided. Defunding the police does not mean chaos. It means that we're creating supplementative, proactive, preventative programs for the community to be uplifted. That means creating resources for the community that goes beyond beating people up.
Thank you. Blair, welcome.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I didn't know I'd be going so soon, so I'm not fully prepared. Hopefully the speech will work. A thank you to the places of Camden, New Jersey and Minneapolis, as they are currently offering a pressure relief valve and what can be good community policing ideas in the next few years. In years of developing good studies and practices, the term to defund the police can be an all-encompassing term around the country at this time, where we can all work together and contribute towards imaginative, positive ideas of change in the needs of individual communities. I have a list of community ideas I will present you at another time. All of these are budget questions that can be go and tie into police funding, and are simply some of the more genuine positive ideas of sustainability and open democratic practices. I hope we can all take to heart each idea that we'll be hearing today and at this time. And again, after years of studying good practices, I hope the city of San Jose will want to be open to develop good ideas from all parts of the community at this time and for the next few years. Thank you.
Thank you. Cynthia?
Hi, Councilman and Mayor. Thank you so much for this time. A lot of people have already spoken at great length, and I'm just going to talk from personal experience. I live as a Black woman every single day of my life. I'm fortunate. I'm a biomedical engineer. I do great. But I was at the protest a month ago where I was tear gassed and pepper sprayed. And I understand the other side of it. Police are afraid for their life and they want to maintain law and order, but they get to go home and take their badges off every day. I can't take off my Black skin anywhere I go. I've been stopped by the police on multiple occasions. I've been pulled over. And this is just to say that police do too much. There's a lot of test cases and studies out there that I will email ahead about how we can attack the root of the problem, not the symptom. Invest in mental health care, invest in libraries, education to try and prevent these atrocities from happening. Thank you.
Thank you. Please send those studies to me at sam.licardo@sanjoseca.gov. I'd be very interested in reading more. Thank you. Sasha?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good afternoon, Mayor Licardo, council members, and city staff.
My name is Sasha Kamal, and I work for First Five of Santa Clara. I'm calling on behalf of family child care home providers. Many providers are not able to take time off to provide public testimony at these meetings because they are working, so I'm here on their behalf. I want to thank Councilwoman Arenas and City Manager David Sykes for their leadership on this issue, and Mayor Liccardo for including childcare in his budget message in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Family childcare home providers are critical supports during COVID-19, as well as for the recovery process of the COVID-19. Please support our providers, as many of them are struggling to keep their businesses open. Consider utilizing any unused funds to support our local providers, as they also support big business by providing childcare for workers. Let's not lose momentum. Thank you.
Thank you, Sasha. Molly, welcome.
My name is Molly McLeod, and I am a San Jose resident, and I worked for the city of San Jose for 21 years. My experience for 2 years on the Government Alliance and Racial Equity cohort makes clear the proposed budget is far too small. Racial equity is a public health issue. I'm asking that you please vote for a public safety budget that will prepare San Jose for a killer quake and fire season power shutoffs. This means shifting CARE general fund monies in every disaster from Katrina to the California fires. People with disabilities and Black, Indigenous, people of color die. This is preventable, not inevitable. Racism and ableism are connected. The Emergency Operations Center, I know firsthand, has barriers to access for wheelchair users. Also, no city department consistently uses alt text image descriptions to ensure public safety for people who are blind or need to use screen readers. Thank you.
Thank you, Molly. Karina, welcome.
Hi, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, okay. So I just wanted to say on May 29th, on Friday at the protest, I was tear gassed within 30 minutes of arriving to this protest. I was shot with a rubber bullet in the side. I demand that the police is defunded and that our police is demilitarized in the meantime. The proposed budget allocates over 40% of our tax dollars to the police when really this money should be going to education, healthcare, housing, things that actually prevent crime and help people. We have a huge homeless population, and our police spends a lot of time going out to deal with that. And we just need better resources that are more properly funded. And then I just want to say Black Lives Matter, and Sam Liccardo, fuck you.
Thank you, Karina. And I'm sorry for your injuries. Colin, welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Welcome.
Hi, City Council. I'm a fourth year student at San Jose State, and I've lived in San Jose for 3 years. I've never seen my student body fired up over any issue as much as this. It's not even close. Police divestment is a huge theme in this movement. When we say defund the police, we mean two things. First is demilitarization. That should be a given from the protests. What we want to do is take it a step further. We want to prevent the need for police by reallocating money from the police budget into programs that can prevent crime, like youth programs and rehab. We also want more specialized resources that are better equipped to handle many of the responsibilities that have been delegated to this police department. Like substance abuse professionals, not law enforcement, should be present for overdoses. Members of City Council, let me remind you of your role in this movement. You are the most powerful acting body over this police department. Correcting the wrongs of the police is your responsibility. You have the oversight and you give them the budget. If money is power, then invest it in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheyenne, welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, we need to end the war on poor people and begin a war on poverty to help liberate people and address the root causes of crime, which are inequality and lack of opportunity. I oppose the budget proposal and believe we need to reduce the bloated $450 million budget for police, which represents a whopping 11% of our whole city's budget. Very large. And the police auditor is only getting 0.3%. I'm sorry, 0.03% of our total budget. So there is a huge discrepancy in the oversight, and I believe we need to reduce police funding and invest in communities, and that can include things like healthcare, education, housing, and community banking. Yeah, aidtoabolition.com has more information.
Thank you. Layla?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Layla. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Layla. I was born and raised in San Jose, and I'm a student now, and I've been involved in the letter that was sent to you all, in writing the letter that was sent to you all on June 11th, and was also one of the co-authors of an article that's entitled "San Jose Leaders Ignore Calls for Justice from Families Impacted by Police Violence," which was published in San Jose Inside this morning. There's a lot of points that people have bringing up, but I think what I really want to hone in on is just the fact that now is not too late to change. You've been digging your heels in for years about the reforms that you've made and about the changes that you've made to the police department and how that's helped people. But it's clear by the people who have been making comments today and the people that have been dying and traumatized by police for years that change can be made now, and it's okay to start now. I urge you to do that.
Thank you. Brenda? Welcome, Brenda.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council members. I'm an East Side community member from District 5. Today, I wanted to ask you to focus our tax dollars on bringing equitable resources and services to our many community constituent voters, all of you that need this. I think we need to understand what defund the police means. It's reassessing our values, investing in our communities, investing in the people in our schools, hospital, and our services. I just wish that one day we could be like New York, who cut the budget of the nation's largest police force. Los Angeles, the mayor called to redirect millions of dollars from the police, and Minneapolis. I just wish we can get to that point one day, and we can focus on our community that are your constituent voters that need services like Viva la Calle, library hours, and so many other services that our community will benefit from. Thank you.
Thank you. Maura, welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Maura Wilson, and I'm an organizer with Surge at Sacred Heart. It is unacceptable that the police department be granted a larger sum of money from the general budget during the COVID-19 budget shortfall, all while community programs such as Parks and Rec and libraries are being cut. We demand an immediate reduction of police funding by 50%, including reduced field patrol, closing the Metro program and the Street Crimes Unit, closing the Covert Response Unit within investigations. We demand termination of police officers for any involvement in police shootings, excessive force, corruption, sexual abuse, physical abuse, domestic abuse, or discrimination. We demand that the city eliminate the mayor's youth gang task force as law enforcement uses the task force to covertly surveil on Black and brown youth. We demand that $19 million from the CARES Act be reallocated from the police to renters on the brink of eviction. We demand that you reallocate the fund cut from policing to community-led alternatives to policing, the Black community, the underserved community, and the underfunded community programs.
Thank you. Kristen? Kristen?
Hi, my name is Kristenuko, and I'm a resident of District 4 in San Jose. I'm calling to demand that you defund the San Jose Police Department and reallocate the funds to alternative, nonviolent, community-based safety programs that tackle the root of the problem itself by uplifting the most vulnerable populations. Reforming the police does not work when the system itself is the problem. The fact that innocent Black people are still getting murdered by police after years of reform prove that fact. In addition to reallocating the funds to things like education, libraries, parks, housing, and transportation, we need to invest in alternative methods to crisis intervention, like mental health professionals, de-escalation specialists, medical service providers, and unarmed city employees for all the social issues police are asked to deal with. They themselves admit they don't want to deal with these things and are not equipped. With these alternative solutions, there is absolutely no reason that our taxpayer dollars should be continued to fund such a violent, racist, and ineffective institution. Defund the police and invest in community.
Thank you. Angie? Angie, your device appears to be muted right now.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So first off, we sent a letter to you, Mayor, to defund the police, and we're not going to repeat that whole thing for you right now. It's your job and the council members' job to read that. The people of the community spent countless hours going over this, and we didn't do it for fun. We did it because you guys can't find a solution. We found one for you. If this is a democracy, like, you have to show us that this works. So what is the point of having a democracy if we all call you and tell you defund the police and you're not going to do it anyways? You keep putting on Twitter and everywhere that you're not going to do it. That's not fair. You're not listening to us. You keep saying that people say that they need more cops. I see cops all the time pull up in like groups of 4 to pull over one car. It's just not right. Defund the police.
Thank you. Buckley?
Yes, hi, my name is Buckley. I grew up in San Jose. I work in San Jose, and I currently live in San Jose's District 6. I support the mayor setting aside $1.5 million to prioritize childcare and stabilize the childcare industry by financially supporting family childcare home providers. But $1.5 million is just the beginning. As a city, we can do much better to uplift the community members, the family childcare home providers that raise and educate this city's future generations. Our first 5 years of life are critically important. This is an economic and racial justice issue. Family childcare home providers are majority women of color run small businesses who earn on average $30,000 per year. Why does the city's budget put a majority of our dollars towards a police force that harms community members and doesn't keep us safe, instead of putting our funds towards early care and education, towards the resources that actually keep us safe? To the folks who are in community, raising and educating our children, building solid foundations, and ultimately allowing people and children to go to work, knowing that their children are receiving high quality early learning experiences.
Thank you. Melissa, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mayor Liccardo, council members, and city staff. My name is Melissa Hong, and I'm a mother of a 1-year-old child. I am pleased to hear of the city's direction to allocate Corona relief funds to provide grants to home-based and small childcare providers, with the condition that these businesses continue to actively provide services to families. Thank you for choosing young children and understand the importance of investing in high-quality early learning experiences for children, especially at the most crucial time in their lives. The first 5 years of a child's life sets the foundation of how they experience the world. It also reduces opportunity gaps and achievement gaps that we see in student achievements in K through 12. While the proposal of investing $1.5 million to stabilize the childcare industry is a right step in the right direction, I also want to make sure that you're aware that more will be needed to support the childcare industry, as family childcare home providers have been pushed into deep financial stress due to COVID-19. Thank you.
Thank you. S, welcome.
Hello, my name is Stephanie Conajo, San Jose born and raised. My job title has nothing to do with me speaking on human rights. I had a lot written down to say, but after hearing a couple people, it's pretty obvious. We've already spoke, letters, petitions, 1.5 million people in San Jose compared to this small group of city council. You guys know what we want. Now we're just looking stupid. We're repeating. 1.5 million people in San Jose, guys. Power to the people. Keep protesting to defund the police. They know we want this. Why aren't they doing it? There's a bigger picture. My grandma's asking. I'm 28 years old, I'm asking. My 12-year-old sister is asking, sister, why so many cops? Why are they beating these guys? Why so many homeless people in San Jose? It's bigger than this. They know what we want, guys. Don't stop till we get it.
Thank you. Maria?
Maria Martinez.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mayor and council members. As a resident of District 5 and coordinator of Somos Mayfair with Vecinos Activos, and we're asking you to put a part of the budget to create more affordable housing for very low income, extremely low income families. And thus support the most disadvantaged community and be evicted for their home when the COVID-19 pandemic ends. And thus create a safe and permanent home where our children can live. So please support our community. That's the most vulnerable community, and put the budget. We need to prepare when they finish the pandemic. So support all these families to have a one place where they can live. Thank you.
Thank you. Christina, welcome.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Sam Liccardo and City Council members, I am a library and early education commissioner and a resident of the City of San Jose. I would like to thank you for your statement encouraging 1.5 million to childcare options, but I'm speaking today on the proposed 3 million budget cuts to our library and early education programs. COVID-19 is going to have a huge impact on the education of our children, and as an educator, I have already seen it. 10,550 students do not have access to a computer at home, and this disproportionately affects Black and Hispanic communities who are 20% less likely, to have access to broadband internet and will rely on libraries to catch up. Additionally, I'm concerned with this and scared for our residents who rely on the library for programming and access to reach out to employers. Please consider this budget proposal and what will it affect to our communities. Stronger communities create a stronger San Jose. Thank you.
Thank you. Bihan, welcome.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Vihan Krishan and I live in District 10. I've lived in San Jose for only a short while. However, in this time, I have come to realize that the South Bay is one of the most progressive communities in the United States. As such, I implore this committee to push for major pioneering reform in reallocating city funds into avenues such as investing in Black-led organizations, allocating grant funds to brown and other low-income areas, creating new sectors of first responders such as mental health, etc., and more. I want San Jose to be on the right side of history, and I'm sure that you all do too. Thank you and have a great day. I yield my time.
Thank you. Welcome, Peter.
Mayor Liccardo, respected City Council. My name is Peter Ortiz and I represent East and Downtown San Jose on the County Board of Education. I want to be direct when I say that if we move forward with the city budget as is, it will be nothing short of a slap in the face to the many people of color and working families within the city of San Jose. Budgets should be a statement of city values, and it is more than telling to see that in our country's 10th largest city, with a budget of $4.1 billion, only a minuscule 100,000 is being allocated to intentional racial equity work. This displays how much our current city leadership values their diverse residents. With the pandemic having a disproportionate effect on communities of color, why aren't we being intentional with our budget and coronavirus relief spending to elevate communities that have been impacted the most? Now is the time to stand by our communities who need us, invest in direct services to low-income residents, fully funding libraries, childcare, and bridging the digital inclusion gap in our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Johnny?
Hi, City Council. Hi, Mayor. I went to a low-income high school 3 years ago. I was jumped, and the police who arrived didn't give me solace or comfort. They didn't have a plan, and they simply didn't seem like they cared. They took a picture, and I believe to prevent crime, we have to patrol leaders with power. We have to patrol the mismanagement of money, where leaders will route money towards themselves. We have to route money from the police who incite stress from those who don't have privilege. And we have to invest in affordable housing, educational support, and mental health. We need to support our people. These people we call criminals are not criminals. They are people who need to be supported. Investing in the people and patrolling the leaders who mismanage money will encourage healing rather than perpetuate a cycle of aggression at every level. To truly move forward, we have to put our money where it counts, and we have to take steps forward.
Thank you, Samhita.
Hi there, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, my name is Samhita Dialla, and I wanted to express my deep disappointment in the city of San Jose for its misguided funding priorities. How SJPD's budget is more than $460 million in spite of the lack of basic funding available for education, ensuring affordable housing, food security, and mental health resources, especially for our Black and Brown communities, is beyond me. Not only is it morally despicable and shameful, it's a poor investment. Research, which I'm happy to send you, has shown innumerable times that food insecurity, housing insecurity, inaccessible mental health, and low health literacy cost our state and our country billions of dollars in healthcare expenditures every year. It's unfair and ineffective for us to expect policemen with 6 months of training to do more than mental health specialists, intelligence specialists, social workers, domestic violence workers, elder abuse specialists combined. I know it's scary to lay off a workforce as large as our police force, but I urge you to set aside funding to pay for their re-education. In essence, please stop using taxpayer dollars to perpetuate inequity. Thank you.
Thank you. Sahiti?
Hi, my name is Sahiti Madhuredi and I live in District 4. I demand that you divest from SJPD and invest in our community in line with the demands of those who have lost loved ones to the San Jose Police Department in the letter delivered on June 11th. Your commitment to protecting the police department while the city deals with budget shortfalls from the pandemic is an embarrassment and a deep disappointment. Discontinue all future hires, demilitarize the police, and put money into community programs and rent relief instead. San Jose has the chance to be a leader in envisioning a new model of public safety. Don't throw away this moment. Listen to us. That's your job. I yield my time.
Thank you. Andy F.
Hi there. So I'd first like to say that I think we should invest more of our budget into social services for our community and divest away from our police system. I think it's important to recognize that a huge portion of the police budget is for patrols. This is what we're asking to divest from directly. Mr. Mayor and City Council, the problem is not only what is being proposed, it is the entire system of policing that we think is the right answer. It is the hardest challenge of a person's society to serve the greater needs of the community, and some would say even harder to admit when they're wrong. Mayor and Council, we think that you're wrong. It's time to change how we define our public safety. It takes courage to admit fault, but you will be defined by your actions, not your apologies. I'll finish by saying, if you are scared by how you'll be perceived on this issue by the public, please consider how history will perceive you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Laura H.
Hi, I live in District 3. You've heard from your community over the last few weeks how disappointed we all are, and saying that you care isn't enough. You need to show us through your concrete actions, not just platitudes. The city budget can be a platform for this. By investing in services that benefit the community, by putting money into frontline services for those most in need, the vast majority in our city that falls well below that tech income, you can change the course of our city. I'm going to echo those saying the police budget's too large, reallocate the money in the general fund to protect the services for parks and the library. Do not cut these departments that serve the people most in need. Through the budget, you can start to crawl towards bridging the economic divide in the city. The federal funding the city received for COVID-19 has shown how much funds towards housing, health, and other social services can impact the most vulnerable in our city and positively affect the entire city in turn. I urge you to reconsider the proposed budget, listen to your community, help steer San Jose on the path toward equity by reallocating these funds and reimagining the way the city can support its community. Also, Mayor, please reprioritize your lunch hour. It's disrespectful to eat during public comment and it makes you appear apathetic.
Thank you. Andrea?
Hi, my name is Andrea Kennedy, and I'm a San Jose resident born and raised. I'm here to call to reallocate police funding and invest those funds directly into the community. Invest in community programs and reimagine what public safety means to our community in San Jose. We do not want reform. Your reform is not working. San Jose PD just shot their own anti-bias trainer in the groin during a rally 3 weeks ago with a rubber bullet, and he has lost his ability to bear children. The problem is the system of policing. It is inherently racist and violent. We need to invest in mental health services, social workers, invest in education, jobs programs for the youth, healthcare, and housing. You are killing my people, and it's breaking my heart. Listen to us. It is your job and your duty to listen to us. Please and thank you.
Thank you. Beth?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, my name is Beth Hinkle. I live in San Jose District 1. Again, as so many others have mentioned, the increase in funding for SJPD in the budget is unacceptable. Budgets are moral documents. It's a choice to direct money one place and not another. And when the people most affected are telling you that that money could be better used, it's a choice to not act on that. Again, I want to amplify the many voices we've heard and the demands you've received, which outline the actions, policy changes, and financial reallocating that needs to happen to protect Black lives and make our community safer for everyone. If police and elected officials really want to serve their community, then I urge you to set your ego aside, refrain from getting defensive, and instead listen to the communities that are consistently traumatized by police violence, hear their stories and statistics they're sharing, and make the financial decisions that protect them. It's clear the status quo isn't working. Simply put, it's killing people, and continuing to fund it is futile and harmful. Thank you.
Thank you. Jennifer?
Hello.
Yes.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm a resident of District 9 in San Jose and a member of Together We Will San Jose. I'm asking that money be redirected from the police department budget to community and social service programs. Increased funding for community and social service programs will allow members of our community to get help specific to their needs and allow the police to focus on violent crimes. Please invest in the members of our community by reallocating money from the San Jose Police Department to education, healthcare, unarmed first responders, affordable housing, library services, homeless programs, and mental health response teams. Safe communities don't have a bigger police presence. They have proper funding. Reforming is ineffective. Let's stop wasting our money to criminalize our marginalized communities of color. I would like to see police officers who are involved in excessive force cases barred from being rehired, fired, and their pensions withheld.
Thank you. Kevin?
Hi, can you hear me okay?
We can hear you fine.
Hey, good afternoon, city council members and staff. My name is Kevin Nguyen. I was born and raised in this city and come from a moderate Vietnamese household that is rarely ever spoken out. I also want to believe that you all mean well, and I am empathetic to the fact that the institutions you all inherited are large and deeply rooted. However, after being on the ground since the first protest in May and reviewing your proposed budget and subsequent comments made online, I urge you to be bolder when it comes to police reform. Please do not just continue to fund the status quo or add on to it. Despite what they say, we are not anti-police, but rather we ask that we build one more applicable to our changing community and hope that you all can lead that from the front. Please, please reconsider your budget. We want accountability, and cosmetic reforms will not accomplish that. Money will. Thank you.
Thank you. The number ending in 7912.
Yes, please do not spend any tax dollars on military-grade weapons that will be used against innocent civilians. This includes tear gas, rubber bullets, foam batons, lead-filled beanbags, flashbangs, stinger grenades, concussion grenades, and any other explosive projectile or chemical agent which has been recently deployed in an obvious effort to suppress First Amendment rights. Please take the cost of all lawsuits from the use of these weapons out of the police budget. We should not defund park schools and community programs to pay for police misconduct. I know it's been claimed SJPD has already been operating on a small budget, but where did the money for 24/7 helicopters, overtime for an army of officers, and this whole arsenal of weapons come from? I noticed in the agenda today there are over 500 or around 500 pages of emails demanding you defund the police. Hundreds of people marched to the mayor's house on Friday with the same demands. Hundreds of people today are going to speak. Thousands have sent emails. I'm sure all of your email boxes are jam-packed. Please listen to the people. Thank you.
Thank you. Ryan?
Hi, can you hear me okay?
We can hear you perfectly. Go ahead.
Awesome. Hi, my name is Ryan Johnson. I'm a resident of District 3. I've noticed a rhetorical tendency in this council to dismiss constituent demands because you think that defunding the police is impossible or naive. I would like you to reconsider that. We want you to decrease the police budget and not expand it in the name of more training. If you demand more training and you decrease their budget, that's great, but we do not want you to give them more money. I understand that San Jose might be the best major city in America in terms of police reform. It isn't good enough. We are telling you that people do not feel safe on your streets, that Black people don't feel safe on your streets, not because of crime, but because of San Jose Police Department. That's a problem that you have a duty to solve, and we are telling you how we want you to solve it. SJPD has too much money and community aid has too little. That's all we're asking for. I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you. Jen, welcome. Jen, your device appears to still be on mute. Could you unmute your device? Thank you.
Hi. Hold on one second, please. I am a resident of District 9, and you were elected to represent me. I am writing to add my voice to the growing public demand for a new approach to creating safety in our communities. I want you, my elected leaders, to immediately reallocate funds from our police department to social and public programming that takes place in our communities. I want my elected leaders to demonstrate that you are serious about improving the lives of African American, Latinx, Indigenous, and other residents of color by dramatically increasing funds to social and public programming as directed by community-led organizations. I demand that my elected officials make drastic and dramatic changes to our city budget to fully fund recreation programs, mentorship programs, summer job programs, summer camps, including tech, music, art, theater, dance, athletics, as deemed useful and needed by community-led organizations, particularly for African American, Latinx, Indigenous, and other youth of color. I want evidence that the following city improvements are fully funded on every street and in every neighborhood.
Thank you. Veronica, welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Veronica Lopez. I'm calling on behalf of family child care home providers and families. Family child care home small businesses earn on average of $30,000 per year and are predominantly run by women of color. This is a racial justice issue. This is an economic equity issue. This is support to the child care industry that has suffered greatly, yet stood up to serve during the COVID-19 pandemic. FCCH providers are critical support during COVID-19, as well as for the recovery process of COVID-19. However, 67% said they close forever if they do not receive any financial relief. I urge you to support family child care home providers to be able to maintain their business open. I want to thank Councilwoman Arenas and City Manager David Sykes for their leadership on this issue, and Mayor Ricardo for including childcare in his budget message in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. I yield my time. Thank you.
Thank you. Jonathan?
Hold on, let me close the window. Hello, my name is Jonathan. I'm the president of the Seven Trees Neighborhood Association. I also serve on our Neighborhoods Commission, and I work for First 5 Santa Clara County on a pilot program serving incarcerated parents out of our county jail system. As someone who works with justice involved families inside Elmwood and out in our community via our Reentry Resource Center, I want to say that we cannot arrest our way out of poverty. The impacts of incarceration on children happen within the first hour, and the trauma that is associated with it is the same regardless of how long the parents stay incarcerated. What we have now is an opportunity to break the generational cycle of incarceration that disproportionately affects our Latino and African ancestry communities. I'm calling to reallocate funds away from SJPD and use that for more prevention services for our youth, childcare, and to support more equitable model of funding that prioritizes our districts with the most need. Thank you.
Thank you. Knox Sophia? Nguyen? Oh, okay. Ms. Nguyen, I know you'd be up to speak right now, except you're not going to be able to communicate with us because the Zoom format you have is out of date. So if you could go online and update it with the latest version of Zoom that'll enable you to communicate to the city system, that would be helpful. We'll hear you as soon as you're able to do that. Veronica, welcome. Veronica, your device appears still to be muted. Could you unmute your device? Veronica, your device appears still to be muted, so your voice can't be heard until you unmute your device. Gabriella?
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mayor, Council, and City staff. My name is Gabriella Sandoval, and I live in District 7, and I'm also the daughter of a family child care home provider. In response to the COVID-19 pandemic, I just want to thank you, Mayor Liccardo, for setting aside funding in the budget to continue supporting child care. However, currently 79% of family child care homes are still closed, and this is an alarming statistic. However, the loss of access to high quality child care settings places children at risk of educational delay, poor health outcomes, and poor social and emotional development, which to me is an even more alarming statistic. As the daughter of a family child care home provider, I have seen the positive impact of child care. I've seen how much love, support, and care is given, how lifelong relationships are cultivated. Providers are waking up as early as 4:30 in the morning. They go with the parents to the hospital when the children have high fever, and so on. So please continue to consider them. They do it for the kids. So please do it for them.
Thank you, Gabrielle. Don?
Hello. Does having more police make us more safe? Although the police does help reduce crime, that's not the question right now. The question is it the most effective way to keep our city safe long-term, 10 years, 30 years down the line? Consistent research has shown that the most long-lasting, cost-effective way to reduce criminal behavior is by making a committed investment towards alleviating, rather than just policing, underlying causes of criminal behavior. Now, you may have heard about defunding, but let's be clear what it actually means. We mean demilitarize and reallocate funds towards community programs. The police, as it is, are overfunded, receiving more than programs that prevent crime at the root. We're asking for a gradual process of reallocating police budgets to community development and crime prevention programs that have been shown to be more effective at reducing crime. Thank you.
Thank you. Shreya?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Shreya Ramesh, and I am a resident of San Jose and I've grown up in San Jose. I echo other sentiments and demand that we defund the police, a system steeped in institutional racism. An unethical percentage of our city's budget goes to the SJPD. Specific opportunities to divest include eliminating paid administrative leave for officers facing misconduct charges and do not allocate city funding for the defensive officers who shoot, maim, and injured our loved ones, amongst many other opportunities. Please instead invest resources for mental health, substance abuse, public housing, childcare, as other people have mentioned, and education. Please remember, as elected officials, it is your responsibility to represent our interests, and if you don't serve our interests, we will elect officials who do. This is also an opportunity for our city to be a leader in civil rights. Thank you. I yield my time.
Thank you. Patricia? Patricia, your device appears still to be unmuted.
Good afternoon, Council. Can you hear me?
Yes. Welcome.
Thank you. As a lifelong resident of San Jose, I've lived, worked, loved, lost, and played in my beautiful city for 37 years. And I also work and serve local government. Budgets are a moral and living document, moldable to the values and will of the public, the people for whom we serve, shifting funding from the police to departments and programs capable of addressing systemic issues like institutional racism, lack of mental health services, inadequate education services, and lack of opportunity actually reduces crime, and thereby the need for an overinflated police budget. We are demanding a shift in the city's budget because the community deserves better. We deserve parks, which reduce crime. We deserve libraries, which reduce crime. We deserve access to healthcare and mental health services, which also reduce crime. And we deserve access to safe housing. And what does all this reduction in crime lead to? It leads to less need for police, which coincides with the reduced budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Kristen?
Hello, my name's Kirsten Haney, and I'm calling from Family and Children's Services of Silicon Valley, a division of Kaminar. We're a mental health nonprofit here in San Jose, and I'm also a resident of San Jose. And in my decade-long career of mental health, I've had the opportunity to work with law enforcement on more occasions than I can count. However, I do know that just similar to our schools, our police need to have an understanding of trauma, both primary and secondary, to have an understanding of mental health, especially our most acute individuals in our population. And those individuals really need a plan for long-term care. Our agency provides a program called Healing and Reduction of Trauma in Schools. I feel like if we could have the opportunity to partner with law enforcement in order to really understand mental health, both of the individual and of the person that isn't giving the care, would be important.
Thank you, Kirsten.
Yeah, I just want to say I've been called to serve the greater good of the public, and I hope we can rise together. Diversity.
Delana? Welcome, Delana. Your device appears to be muted right now, Delana.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. My name is Delina Hughes, and I'm a community member within the West Side of San Jose. I am calling you on behalf of family child care home providers and families. I am a parent of a child in a family child care home. I also want to thank Councilwoman Arenas and City Manager, David Sykes for their leadership on this issue, as well as Mayor Liccardo for prioritizing the investment of family childcare or childcare in general. This investment is a great start, but it is not enough. Family childcare homes are the small businesses that earn less than they are worth in order to serve as the backbone of our economy. Our quality childcare providers are struggling greatly at this time as they have scrambled to make ends meet. Our family childcare homes are predominantly run by women of color. This is a racial justice issue as well. As a woman of color myself, I know that there is only one place that I can ensure with my income that my child will receive quality childcare. That is a family childcare home. It is already mid-June and family childcare homes are closing for good. This is devastating.
Thank you, Delina. Victor? Welcome, Victor.
Good afternoon. My name is Victor Vasquez. I'm a resident of District 9 and organizer at Somos Mayfair. I'm very appalled by the comments that, we're using undocumented people to say that we need more police. I'm appalled at that divide and conquer strategy that's being used to divide Black and brown communities and build this budget. And we need a different budget, a budget that believes in the true world, because that's what we want as undocumented people and as people in San Jose. We believe that the funds should be allocated to the communities with the greatest needs. We believe that, or we need to reduce police force and put that money into mental health services. We need to invest in public libraries in community safety events like the Viva Calles events. We need a library in Mayfair. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you decided not to have that. And we need public housing for families because they cannot afford to live the situation. And we hope that you could also expand child and youth development services and take out the police out of our schools and dismantle the gang task force. Thank you.
Thank you. John? Welcome.
Good afternoon, Mayor Liccardo, City Council members, and city staff. I'm John Tolrico, student of San Jose from the past 4 years. California is one of the biggest beneficiaries of the federal 1033 program, and today you have a real opportunity to help create change. Residents of this diverse city should not have to fear for their lives because they are seeing police wielding military-grade weaponry on the same streets that they walk and live on daily. Realize that the conversation cannot simply end here. There must be continued discussion about how perpetual investment in the police divests from programs like education, affordable housing, and library hours, which are critical to your poor constituents. If we want to combat systemic and institutional racism, we have to address the inequalities entrenched in infrastructure, education, and ecology that disproportionately affect communities of color. You have failed Anthony Nunez, Jennifer Vasquez, Philip Watkins, Antonio Guzman Lopez, and Jacob Dominguez, and so many others who have found themselves at the hands of an overly strict penal state. So when you're considering today's budget, you have to realize that your silence and inaction is violence. Thank you. I yield my time.
Thank you. Jorian?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Yes. As you've heard, many people have talked about statistics and all of that stuff. I want to give my own personal experience in regards to this police situation. I've been a resident of San Jose now for about 6 years. I am in District 9. I have been harassed. I've been unjustly stopped and held by the police for no reason. I do not have any type of criminal record, and yet I've continually seen mistreatment from this system. Now, mind you, I also work for a school, and I have plenty of officers that are parents of mine. So I understand that from an individual level, there may be some good guys in there, but this system has to change. I have had the police weaponized against me, and I do not approve of that. We need to reduce the budget. We need to invest in restorative justice practices for our youth so that we can give them better opportunities than continually policing them and incarcerating them.
Thank you. Moto G? Welcome. Your device appears to be muted right now. We'll only be able to hear you if you can unmute your device. There you go.
Hi. Getting into my notes. Stop policing our language. If we say FTP or FU and concentrate more on the violence your police inflict on our bodies. Eating lunch in our ear is rude. We are offended, and hopefully you won't do it again. A council member who still wears a police badge cannot lead reform and be conciliatory to the chief. We will not let you ride the cause of reform into the mayor's office. We are tired of having to pull over every time we see police surrounding an unhoused person so we can ensure their safety. We are tired of unhoused people being too afraid to call the police, so they remain in dangerous, abusive situations. I've been there when SJPD shamed a domestic violence victim. I've been there when they mishandled a 5150 call so poorly that they shot the person in the head 5 times with rubber bullets and left, saying the person would calm down. They didn't. They were still psychotic and burned down the building. We need to defund the police and put funds where the people can properly and move funds to people properly trained to work domestic violence calls and unhoused people and mentally ill people.
Thank you. Amanda?
Hi, my name is Amanda Valenzuela. I have been working with the youth for about 13 years here in San Jose, born and raised. I wanted to share a personal story in the hopes that maybe this touches all of your hearts. One of my students in the high school was in and out of juvenile hall. He was 14 years old. And when he came back, I was very happy to see him that he was back in school. This was last year in December. And I said, you know, how's your first day back? And his response to me was, the food tastes better at juvenile hall than here at school. I took a moment to digest what he had just told me, but I feel like this is a cry for help from a young child. So please consider your budget and implement that money to more schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Wilson?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Sam. Hi, everybody. I would just like to encourage everybody to act with a little bit more urgency given the situation that we're in right now. And if you or any of the elected officials are not capable of doing this, defunding the police, please step aside and we will take over. This is not a very hard thing to do, given all the news that has been available. And it's surprising to me that you're still asking for constituents to send you information when so much is available. Sam Liccardo, Jeff Garcia, do the right thing. You also need to fire Jared Nguyen for his act. for all the things that like has happened, I'm surprised that you guys have not come up with a little bit more urgency. I also wanted to reiterate that like over the protest, you guys had shot one of your own, one of the community members who was helping you to train on implicit bias. Do the right thing. Stop lagging. Stop with the denial. Get to work. Thank you. I yield my time.
Thank you, Karina.
Hello, can you hear me?
You can, Karina.
Perfect, awesome. So I don't have a speech prepared or anything, but in all honesty, I feel like I don't need that to tell you to do what's right. I am a San Jose citizen, born and raised, and I just want to bring attention to the fact that we are constantly taking away from our own community. You are like stopping people from being the next best athlete, the next Steve Jobs, the next musician, the next artist, because you're not providing them the resources that they deserve. Talented kids are losing talented kids are losing opportunities just because you don't fund them right. And it's retarded that we have to keep telling you to do this. You just have to do the right thing. It shouldn't be a question. And from someone who lives in San Jose, I would be so proud to be able to be behind a city council who actually cares about their community and invests in them. Wouldn't you do the same? And I just want to leave like a little quote too, is that change is often disguised as chaos. So if you're afraid that things are going to go bad, they have to before they can get good.
Thank you. M. Jacob. And Jacob, I think your device is still muted. We're not able to hear you.
Can you hear me?
Welcome.
Hi, my name is Mary Nolan Jacob Ovia. I'm a lifelong resident of San Jose District 3. I work in the nonprofit sector, directly serving San Jose youth and their families. I'm also a former Jesuit volunteer, just like yourself, Mr. Mayor, and you and I have served some of the most vulnerable people. And right now is the time to put money back into the communities that need it most. We need to decriminalize homelessness, substance abuse, mental illness. We need to fund the development of a new sector of first responders to directly respond to 911 calls, especially those related to mental health, violence, sexual assault, gender-based violence, and abuse, substance abuse, all rooted in the practices of de-escalation and restorative justice, and fund long-term mental health resources, put money back into the San Jose Public Library system and community parks and rec programming. Thank you.
Thank you. Pamela?
Hello, I was raised all around, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was raised all around San Jose, and I experienced firsthand what this system does to the Black and Brown community. Watching my family be institutionalized, I realized we would have never been in that situation if we were given the proper resources prior. It really isn't that hard of a concept to understand, Mayor. The U.S. government takes resources from its people, then forces these families to do illegal things in means of survival, and in return, our government kills and imprisons its own people. We even do it to other countries. You profit off of us by institutionalizing us, or you murder us. If you defund the police and invest in our communities, your quote-unquote violent crimes will decrease because people will actually have mental health care, youth educational programs, food security, and many other tools that allows us to simply live in this awful world. The recurring stories of Black murders and lynchings and Latino murders in America is traumatizing. And the fact that you say you want more cops is extremely insensitive, because statistics have shown that more cops equals more killings and violence on its citizens. I highly advise you all to vote yes to defund the police, because if you do not, you are contributing to the genocide we are facing here today. Support our demands. Thank you.
Thank you. Ogechi?
Hello, can you hear me?
Welcome.
Hi, I'm a Black woman. I'm here to speak again on something that is just like so simple. I don't understand why it's not getting to you guys. Actually, first I'm gonna address, I can see most of the screens. I can see you guys looking at your phones. I can see you guys looking at other things. And now like most of the people are gone, and it's actually really disrespectful that you won't listen to us. Like, it's so fundamental that we understand that investing in preventatives will, like, in the long term, mind you, cut the cost of having to deal with these issues and just become a better community. The fact that we criminalize homelessness and that we sit up here and spend so much money as a city to wipe out homelessness or try to push them aside is just so incredibly ridiculous. I do not understand. Girl, why are you looking at your phone? Like, it's like, I see you. I don't think this is so frustrating. And you know what? At the end of the day, we might as well just call you Kermit the Frog, because apparently you like to be sugar daddies to pigs. Bye.
Rupini?
Mayor Liccardo, you said last time that in a domestic violence situation where someone has a gun, you would want the police to respond because you've seen what happens when they're too late. I understand where you're coming from, but this reveals that you have not taken the time to look into the extensive work that has already been done on alternatives to policing. If you had, you would know that a vast amount of this work has been in response to intimate partner violence. You would know that by the time an abuser has a gun in their hand, we have already responded to that situation too late. You would know that when we ask you to defund the police, we are asking you to instead invest in the resources, which would allow someone to get the help they need as soon as they begin to recognize warning signs for abuse, well before the violence that you are so rightly afraid of can occur. This is what it looks like to reduce violence and prevent trauma, not introducing an armed stranger into a situation which has already resulted in a lifetime of trauma. We are telling you that police do not protect us, they cause harm. Well-funded community programs are what actually protect us from violence. Please listen to us. Black Lives Matter, fund care, not cops.
Thank you. Rosie? Welcome. Rosie, your device appears to be muted, so we're not able to hear you until you unmute the device.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mayor and council members. I'm Rosie Zepeda. I'm a longtime resident of the city of San Jose and a member of the South Bay Progressive Alliance. I want to demand the city budget to be allocated to ensure equity throughout our communities. Funds should be focused on communities with the greatest needs. Equity goals need to be incorporated in our budget from here on. This starts with demilitarizing our police force by redirecting funding to mental health services and libraries, allocating funds to community service officers instead of police officers. You want to look at a successful model? Look at Camden, New Jersey, where crime dropped by 40% once this model of community policing was implemented. It was a sad day for me when my city, San Jose, made it to the New York Times showing how our police attacked our own residents. Please do the right thing. I yield my time.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Mimi. Welcome, Mimi.
I typically address you guys as a small family-owned business advocate and a previous neighborhood commissioner for District 5. Today, I, Mimi Hernandez, I'm going to address you as a parent, as a now resident of District 8 and a fellow San Josean. Since the days of the late Sofia Mendoza and Susan Hammer, our community has been calling for the end of systemic racism and to police brutality and the general practice of criminalizing our brown and Black youth. Let's invest in social programs, mental health services, libraries, parks, youth programs, and community policing. These are not radical ideas. Given the recent events and the ongoing violent behavior exhibited by the San Jose Police Department, they are logical and humane. These are the steps to take. I want to have our brown and Black families trust and respect law enforcement. Understand we are scared. You know, our parents, our youth, even the police officers are scared. We must do better and we must think different. Denials and excusing violence are wrong, and frankly, it's just very, very old. Our youth marching and the Black Lives Matter movement are not the
Thank you, Mimi. I want to ask all my colleagues if they could please turn on their screens. I think it's important for the public to know that we're hearing what they're saying. So if I could ask all my colleagues to please turn on their screens. Amity?
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council members. I am a member of Showing Up for Racial Justice at Sacred Heart and a resident of District 9, as well as a parent and a homeowner and a public school teacher. The demands you guys are hearing from San Jose community members right now to defund the police are urgent and they need to be addressed. Small reforms have not and will not go far enough. Mayor Liccardo, you have actually noted that the huge budget shortfall facing San Jose because of COVID-19 poses opportunities for change, and you are right. San Jose has a chance right now to make real, lasting, structural, impactful change by reallocating funding away from traditional policing and back into community resources, as well as into community-led alternatives to policing, including those outlined in the letter from the people of San Jose of June 11th and the specific demands of Silicon Valley DBUG. Our community requires an immediate reduction in police funding, the demilitarization of the police, and the termination of officers for any involvement in police shootings, excessive force, corruption, abuse of any kind, or discrimination. San Jose can do better. We can reimagine community safety that truly keeps everyone safe.
Thank you. The caller with the number ending in 0654.
Hi, here's some facts. According to a study published by the National Academies of Science, militarization of police is used almost exclusively as a weapon against communities of color. Irregardless of crime rates or the assumed danger of an operation, SWAT teams are more heavily deployed against communities of color. In addition, militarization does not lead to a decrease in officer fatalities. In fact, fatalities are so minor on a national level that a decrease would have to be measured in single digits. Research into military tactics conclude that it has little impact on crime rates, but massive impact on community confidence in police. I ask you, the council, to consider that police forces be replaced with nonviolent community programs, invest in safety training, conflict mediators, strategies to advance the well-being of youth. Stop punishing those who are symptoms of a broken system that has done far too little for them. Fund after-school programs, rehabilitation, low-income housing, and substance abuse help. If not now, when? I rest my time.
Thank you. Al? Hello, Al. Your device appears to be muted right now, Al.
Hello, sorry about that. Hi, my name is Al. I'm with XR South Bay, and I don't have a script myself today either. I want to thank you for giving us this time to address this issue of the budget. I'm, of course, calling regarding the police aspect. More specifically, the focus on making sure that we're spending our money wisely. I could go ahead and go for the emotional appeal. That's often what's done, but it just doesn't make much fiscal sense to spend money on police when it's just not the most effective tool for much of what they end up going to address. We could go ahead and do a lot better, not only just fiscally, but of course, regarding just, for history's sake, among many other things. And I hope that we will. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Allison?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. My name is Allison. I grew up my whole life in Eastside San Jose, and throughout my childhood, I and my friends had more violent and terrifying interactions with SJPD than positive ones. When we were still in high school, my friend was attacked and tased by police, suffering PTSD for years after, while the officer who attacked him, Michael Epp, was never held responsible for the violence he inflicted on him and his family. Another friend who actually worked for the city of San Jose at the time and went on to work on the campaign trail for Elizabeth Warren was tackled by campus police and placed in handcuffs our senior year of high school for wearing a blue beanie. What positive impacts did SJPD or police presence have on my life? None that I can think of. However, public parks in the San Jose Public Library were staples of my childhood, places of play, learning, and diversity that provided much needed multilingual resources for the immigrant communities of San Jose that make our city great. Defund the SJPD and fund unarmed community officers trained in de-escalation and knowledgeable in mental health services. Reallocate more funds to community programs that uplift our community.
Thank you. Emmanuel? Emmanuel, welcome.
My name is Emmanuel Jacobo, D7, SJSU student in the Masters of Urban and Regional Planning program. Greetings, San Jose. I see you. You are beautiful and I love you. I do not agree or support any budget with more than 40% allocated to the police department, especially a department that does not take responsibility or accountability for their actions. Please do not cut funds to Viva Calle, SJ, or Viva Parks, library hours, traffic safety, or street improvements. community police officers, parks maintenance, equity strategy for allocating funding. Please fund the community, affordable housing, healthcare, education, libraries, after-school programs, parks, food justice, infrastructure, public art, rehabilitation, not incarceration, defund the police, defund militarized policing, defund SJPD, defund police brutality, defund racism, Black Lives Matter.
Thank you. Samantha?
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Welcome.
Okay, hi, I'm Samantha. I'm a resident of District 9 in San Jose, and I'm speaking to demand that the San Jose City Council defund the SJPD and concurrently reinvest in Black and Brown communities. We demand a budget that adequately and effectively meets the need of the most at-risk San Jose residents during the COVID-19 pandemic and years into the future. We demand that funding is reallocated towards mental health, housing, healthcare, education, libraries, and other city services that serve our communities rather than terrorize them. It is absurd that police officers involved in shootings or other violent incidents have not been removed from the force. We must eliminate paid administrative leave for police facing misconduct charges and stop allocating city funding for the defense of officers who shoot, maim, or injure our community members. It is long past time for the San Jose community to divest from the police and to invest in social programs. What we're asking is for you to imagine a society that isn't structured around violence, a city that prioritizes care over cops. And if that's not something you can see, it's because you don't want to, not because.
Thank you. Kelly?
Hello, are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can. Welcome.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Kelly Tamimura, and I've been a lifelong resident of San Jose and currently live in District 7. I'm here to state that I find the extravagant funding for the police to be disturbing and morally disparaging. I'm a financial analyst, and I would be let go from my job if I continually pushed for the plurality of the budget to fund something that had negative returns on investment and posed no beneficial strategic outcomes. Not only is this the case with the police, but is also costing people their lives and continuing horrendous institutionalization of government-funded white supremacy. In recent public comments, Sam Mayor Liccardo, you stated that many people share the need for more patrol and more police. Since this is an anecdote and not a claim made by data, it's difficult for me to respond. However, I believe that you are completely disregarding the cause for what our capitalist and white supremacist government considers a crime. If you gave these people, you cited the option of 1, more police, or 2, robustly funding community issues, I believe they would choose number 2. Thank you.
Thank you. Max, welcome.
Hi, my name is Max. My name is Max Cohen. I was born and raised in downtown San Jose. Mayor Liccardo, first I want to address you directly. I'd ask that you begin to listen and hear the voices of Black and Brown communities and communities of color here in San Jose. Respectfully, sir, you have been very out of touch in the last few weeks, and I think your insistence that you will not defund the police is clearly communicating that you are not listening, sir. So I would ask you and the rest of the council to please hear the demands of Silicon Valley Debug. As a young white person growing up in downtown San Jose, I witnessed as a young child at San Jose Day Nursery, police draw arms in front of me and a parent on an unarmed man. That was about at the age of 4. I continue to witness San Jose Police Department and campus officers abuse my peers and my friends for the duration of the time that I spent in San Jose. It is time to reallocate.
Thank you. Jessica? Jessica, your device is still muted. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Jessica Matthew. I'm a resident of D1 and with Silicon Valley DSA. I'll get right to the point. Defund the police. Invest in our community instead and listen to us. I have had to run from tear gas, flashbangs, and rubber bullets at the protests myself. I had multiple friends injured by rubber bullets and tear gas. It is clear that SJPD does not understand the difference between real threats and regular citizens peacefully protesting. We don't want reform. We want a process that works towards defunding the police. Instead of spending so much of our budget on police, use those funds to ensure equity throughout our communities. Support community well-being rather than empowering the police. It is your duty to represent your constituents who overwhelmingly want you to defund the police. You should completely revise the budget. Make no mistake, your inaction is violence. Frankly, if you cannot muster the courage to actually do something about this, when the residents of your city are basically begging you to, then you should resign. Listen to us or resign. Black Lives Matter.
Thank you. Linda? Welcome, Linda. Welcome, Linda. Your device appears still to be muted. We can't hear you until you're able to unmute your device.
My name is Linda Goitia, and I'm the current board president for Silicon Valley Career Technical Education. I never expected to be reaching out to the city for help, but I never expected a pandemic either. If we have to close our doors, what would I ever say to a shocked community afterward? How would I explain my inaction? How would the city explain its failure to act? The community would want to know, why did we let that get away from us? Before me, I see a group of highly intelligent and creative people. I have absolute faith that you can find a path forward to approve our ask. People are going to remember for a long time what we did or didn't do in this moment. Mayor Liccardo, I know you're a supporter of equity initiatives. Well, our center is what equity looks like. We are meeting the needs of our most underserved students and providing access to careers they would not have through a traditional high school. And we're providing training in areas that would be critical to the economic recovery of our great city. Supporting SBCTE is a win for everyone, and I respectfully ask your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Shannon?
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, thank you. My name is Shannon McIntosh, and I'm the Work-Based Learning Specialist at Silicon Valley Career Technical Education, and we are part of the Metropolitan Education School District. I'm hoping that you and the council would consider supporting our $500,000 ask to help provide continuity for our 6 partner school districts and our unique career technical education programming that helps students go on to a post-secondary pathway, having the clarity of having experiential education while they are in 11th and 12th grade. We are figuring that out, how to provide that and even more effectively going into fall 2020-21, and would really appreciate your support. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Megan?
Hi, my name is Megan Swift, and I live and vote in Dev Davis's district. I'm also active with Surge, the Rapid Response Network, and La Mesa Verde. I'm talking to you today because San Jose Police Department is not capable of the change required to keep all people safe in our city. Mayor Liccardo and Councilwoman Davis, please reallocate funds. I mean, at the least, the funds used to militarize the San Jose Police Department and put it into the hands of organizations that support and lift up our neighbors. This is not what San Jose Police Department does. And recent events with protesters is not the only reason for my request. I want you to understand that. San Jose Police Department has a long history of abuses and misdeeds. It's like all they have is a hammer, and so everything looks like a nail. I've been working for years to keep my neighbors safe, often from San Jose Police Department. There are many organizations that have helped in the past and will continue to support our families and neighbors if you support and fund them. Please. Thank you.
Thank you. Vivian?
Hello.
Hello, Vivian.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Okay, so you act like defunding the police is going to send us into chaos, but as an Asian American having lived in District 8 her entire life, I would like to remind you that I do live in a police-free communities. Those communities do exist. The very sight of a police car in my community surprises me, as is my privilege, and should be a privilege given to our San Jose communities, moreover police. As a child, I was able to spend hours in the library engaging in their programs and enriching my mind, hours that have been cut more and more as I've grown up while our city grows richer and richer. Please do not terrorize my community because we are well funded, and I do not fear that we will have less police because they were never there in the first place. I fear that our libraries and parks and communities will fall apart with less funding. To truly solve crime, we cannot do with just punishment. We need to get to the root of why they feel like they need to commit the crime in the first place. Stop criminalizing the homeless, stop criminalizing the poor. The police cannot exist without the consent of the people.
Thank you. Catholic worker? Welcome. Your device appears to be muted right now, so we won't be able to hear you until you unmute it. Sorry, your device still appears to be muted.
Hi, sorry. My name is Kalia and I work for Casa de Clara, a organization serving people experiencing homelessness. And I'm urging you to defund SJPD and allocate funding to support people of color-led community organizations and to address issues disproportionately affecting Black and Brown folks, especially homelessness. We call for funds diverted from the police to healthcare, housing, nutrition, rent relief, and rehabilitation programs. And specifically, we advocate for an end to the over-policing and criminalization of homelessness and the end to encampment sweeps. Please defund the police and invest directly in our diverse community. Thank you.
Thank you. Cesar? Cesar, your device is still muted. You could unmute your device. Welcome.
Hello. As a resident of San Jose, I demand that we defund and dismantle SJPD. San Jose Police Department has continuously displayed their disregard for protecting and serving the greater public. Instead, they have constantly shown that they are only here to protect and serve white, wealthy people and property. The money you allocate that allows police to tear gas and shoot rubber bullets at peaceful protesters could go towards funding mental health professionals and first responders, as well as countless other resources to benefit Black and Indigenous people of color. 5 days ago, you tweeted in favor of police reform instead of defunding. We are not asking for police reform because you cannot reform a system that was built to kill and oppress Black and Indigenous people of color. We are demanding the abolishment of SJPD. Sam Liccardo, we are getting your bootlicking ass out of office.
Brenna, welcome, Brenna.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Brenna Savage. I'm a resident of San Jose in District 3. I'm a registered nurse and I've worked in an ICU in a hospital on the east side of San Jose for several years. I've seen the health inequities Black, Brown, and poor people in our community face, and it's simply unacceptable. I demand that the city redirect money away from San Jose PD and listen to the cries of our community and invest in community resources that do not serve the function of policing or incarceration. I also demand that the city stop street sweeps of our unhoused population indefinitely and reinvest the money that funds these sweeps into housing and other effective resources for our marginalized neighbors. The current budget is a reflection of continued public abandonment and the siphoning of funds that systematically use violence to enforce policy instead of meeting the needs of the community. The behavior of San Jose PD during the protest and their PR event afterwards to justify their aggressive use of force has eroded my faith in police reformation. We must defund the police. Thank you.
Thank you. The phone number ending 2456, caller, welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Teresa, and I am a lifelong resident of San Jose, District 7, and the Community Outreach Assistant at Walk San Jose. I stand in solidarity with my community to defund the police. It is well documented that policing perpetuates racialized, gendered, class, and sexual violence that destroys communities. They do not protect us. To quote Miriam Kaba, a safe world is not one in which the police keep Black and other marginalized people in check through threats of arrest, incarceration, violence, and death. A safe world is one in where we invest in our community's infrastructure, health resources, housing, youth programming, community mediation programs, and other social goods. It's not an unrealistic or naive ask as you might believe. We're here because more diversity and training in policing don't work. During this unprecedented time, what is unrealistic is using what feels achievable as a metric for whether we should change something. We are saying defund the police, not reimagine policing, not reform the police. There's no ambiguity in the phrase defund the police.
Thank
so
you.
defund.
Merritt? Welcome. Your device is muted.
Oh, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Evangeline Merritt, and I'm a registered nurse living in District 19. And I'm here to say that it is not a radical idea to invest in our communities. It is your duty as the mayor and as city council members to serve the communities that elected you. And so now it's time to do that. Now is the time to show that you want our communities to succeed and excel. Divest from the police, whose primary aim is to maintain power over us. Invest in education, parks and recreation, community programs, and the libraries. Your community has spoken. Please listen to us. I yield my time.
Thank you. Alyssa? Alyssa, your device appears still to be muted. There you
Yeah,
go.
can you hear me?
Yep.
Thanks. So I'm a city employee. I work for the library department. I just want to remind everybody that we are living on stolen Ohlone land, and that's really important to recognize and acknowledge. I support the people of San Jose's letter to reallocate police funding to community services. It really bothers me that you guys on the city council, especially Mayor Liccardo, you show such a lack of interest when people are speaking. You guys are just sitting there, it doesn't look like you really care. You're looking at your phones, you're on your computers. The only reason you should be looking down is if you're taking notes. The library department was asked to make major cuts in the budget due to COVID economic crisis. Was the police department asked to make cuts? We furloughed 538 staff members indefinitely. It's not right. What do you guys think of that? We're offering all kinds of services to the community to support the community. And what are the police doing? Deb Davis, I won't be voting for you. I don't.
Carlos?
Hello, my name is Carlos Escobar. I just want to say thank you for having me on here, Mayor Liccardo and the rest of the city council members. I am from District 6, and I just wanted to communicate or to amplify a couple voices. So as we have already heard, many folks are asking for the funding of the police, but specifically reallocation. I agree with that standpoint. The reason for it is I assisted in a research project specifically on District 3 across to see how people perceive crime and violence and access to green spaces. And I had to interview up to 200 residents of San Jose. And the reason why I support the reallocation towards whether it's a PRNS or to education is strictly, there's one gentleman who told me, and makes me emotional. He has little hope for his kid because they keep raising liquor stores and there's just so much trash. And you know what? If they just build a library, he'll probably feel a little better. And I think we can see that.
Thank you, Carlos. Kelly? Kelly, your device appears to be muted still. Please unmute it. There you go. Kelly, welcome. Kelly, your device isn't making sound right now. Okay, Kelly, we'll come back to you. You may have a problem with your device or the software, perhaps. Gregory? Please unmute your device, sir.
Hello.
Hi, welcome.
Hi, so my name is Gregory Labat. I'm here to call that you reallocate money from the police to the programs that are actually helpful. The $150,000 that you're reallocating to the IPA to engage the community in order to, quote, get recommendations for meaningful improvements to our practices, end quote, is nothing. It's a platitude. You already know the practices that you have to change. And if you don't, and if you really need ideas for meaningful improvements to the HCPD, I can suggest that you simply open a window and listen to the people chanting in the streets. It'll at least save you having to pretend to care by allocating a measly $150K. This is not money. This is not real money, and you know it will accomplish nothing. It's an insult. Real money is the cost of bringing on 20 additional officers. That's millions every year. I demand that you reallocate this money to fighting crime in a way that actually works by reducing poverty. Reducing poverty reduces crime, and this part is very important. I do need you to listen. It doesn't involve treating your constituents like they're the enemy and attacking them with tear gas or bullets. Take this seriously, pay attention, defund the police, do the thing we're paying you for.
Thank you, Heather. Heather, your device appears to be muted still. Heather, your device appears still to be on mute.
Hi,
I'm a resident of District 3 and I grew up in District 9. I'm calling to voice my support of the letter from the people of San Jose and SV Debug to defund the police and invest in our community. We have no need of an armed city-sanctioned force that operates virtually beyond the law and whose purpose is to enforce compliance through violence. Our community is known and celebrated for innovative thinking. The people of San Jose deserve and can arrive at better solutions for public health and safety. If you read the letter from the people, you would know this. Defund the SJPD, fund equitable and material public health and safety solutions. Make San Jose a place where Black and Brown lives matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Phone number ending in 6629. Welcome.
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Oscar Sandoval, and I'm an educator and D10 San Jose resident. I am one of thousands of community members that have joined alongside the families who have had ones murdered by SJPD to demand the immediate defunding of the San Jose Police Department and reinvesting in the community. These reinvestments can look like reallocating funds for Black-led community organizations, youth services at community centers and libraries, additional mental health support, and long-term support for those families that have lost those loved ones. I just want to be very real. Like, how much more do y'all need at this point? You have data, you have personal narratives, community narratives. How much more blood do you need dripping from your hands? Because at this point, the puddle you're standing in is growing with every day you defend SJPD and institutional policing. If y'all remember those videos from the 60s where all you see is these white elected officials on the receiving end of protests and make change, y'all are those people right now. History is watching, we're watching. I know a lot of y'all want to run for other elected officials. We will remember how you voted tomorrow, and we will never let you forget how you used or didn't use this voice. You have the opportunity to be on the right side of history. Please.
Lucia? Lucia, your device is still muted. There you go.
Okay. Hi, I'm speaking as the mother of two boys, and I'm a resident of District 6. I don't feel represented by my council member and demand that everyone take her out. Now, we need to address the elephant in the room. Who economically benefits every single time our kids end up in prison? I ask. It's not our communities. Stop giving our resources and money to private institutions, because indirectly, that's what we're doing. Essentially, we're paying for our kids to end up in prison. This doesn't make sense, and this needs to stop. Defund the police and allocate the resources to programs that truly uplift our communities, and start off by taking the police out of our schools. And lastly, whoever sat down and drafted the budget and intends to allocate more than $4 billion to the police is not working for us.
Thank you. Ollie, welcome.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Holly Shen. I'm the Deputy Director at San Jose Museum of Art, which is in District 3. San Jose, like many cities right now, needs deep focused attention on building shared community understanding of our nation's racist and violent past and presence. And we must find a process to build a shared vision for our future, as well as an equitable economic recovery plan that needs to prioritize arts and community building. Artists are natural community builders, and the organizations that support their creative work are embedded in communities of color and produce programming that brings people together from all walks of life. The city budget right now has funding for the arts cut by 75% due to the reduction in the tourism tax. But there are other ways that we can fund the arts, which needs to be part of the programs that are being discussed as a solution to defunding the police, or an antidote to that problem.
Thank you, Holly. Sujan?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Welcome, Sujan.
Hi, my name is Sujan. I'd like to echo the same sentiment as the previous speakers, which is to defund the police. Divesting funds in our city can begin the process of ending the culture of punishment in the criminal justice system. Additional trainings and body cameras haven't brought any change, and I don't understand how police reform can happen when the system is broken from the root. I demand we allocate those funds to support people and services that matter to marginalized communities. I demand we put these tax dollars into education, hospitals, housing, food, and social services for mental health, domestic violence, and homelessness in these communities.
First responders should be mental health providers and social workers, not strangers armed with guns. Policing does not equate with public safety, as they are not equipped or trained to solve the above issues, so why are we? If we continue to underfund the support services that can actually prevent crime, that will only cause us to have higher crime rates and will continue to hurt the communities in need of help. Please listen to your constituents. Thank you.
Thank you. Laura?
Hello. I attended the San Jose City Hall protest on Saturday, June 6th. The afternoon was peaceful and powerful. There was not one cop in sight. When I first heard the phrase defund the police, I was admittedly uncomfortable. And over the past 2 weeks, I've reflected on why I felt this way. The answer is I'm a white woman. The system and law enforcement are trained to see me as someone who needs protection. It is an undeniable privilege for me to be afraid of an idea when Black and brown citizens are afraid for their lives when they see someone in a police uniform. This is just one example of white privilege, of systemic racism. This cannot continue. As one of the Black San Jose citizens said earlier during this call, and to that person, please forgive me if I've messed up your words, police officers get to go home and take off their badges. I don't get to change the color of my skin. I would also like to point out that the way things are set up, police officers are asked to take on too many critical roles that they are not trained to handle. Please defund the police. Black Lives Matter.
Thank you. Kat?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, so I want to talk a little bit about the concept of consent of the governed. The consent of the authority of the government is supposed to come from the consent of the governed, not through the use of force. That's, you know, fifth grade history for you. Taxation without representation is something that we learn that we have to think is real. And I want to say, if you are not listening to your constituents when you hear them say defund the police and instead want to continue funding the police, it seems like you have it backwards. Like you think force is where your authority comes from and not from the consent of the government. And you're wrong. We are the funders of the police. And what we're saying is that they are not doing what we want them to do, and we don't want to fund them anymore. So please defund the police and use the funds for things that we will actually want to fund.
Thank you. Pauline?
Thank you, City Council. Hi, Ricardo. I don't think San Jose is a crime-ridden city, and I don't necessarily believe that we need more police to be a safer city. And I spent my childhood living in downtown by the Chaparral Supermarket and now Alum Rock by the Mexican Heritage Plaza. Also, only 13% of arrests were for violent crimes in 2018. If you believe that there is a strong correlation between police to citizen ratio and the number of violent crimes, then go ahead and hire more officers. I don't want you to lay off any of the police officers, unless, of course, they abuse their authority. Many of the San Jose police officers make a good chunk of the money from overtime. Defund the police by hiring more police, less overtime, more funds for other departments. Another thing, why did our golf course budget go from 3.45 million 2018-19 to 10.71 million for the 2021 proposed budget? A 211% increase since 2018-19. What's up with that? Black Lives Matter, defund the police.
Thank you. Katie B?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, my name is Kathleen Bridges, and I was born and raised in San Jose District 10. I've been watching your actions regarding these two public health crises, COVID-19 and also systemic racism. I am disappointed and disgusted. You give interviews and tweets about how you are so willing to reform police. You claim to support 8 Can't Wait, but they themselves admit it is an ineffective strategy and instead call for abolition. You act like you can't hear us when our voices have never been more clear or united. You need to listen to your people and put aside your ego for 2 seconds and look at the big picture. There are over 100+ people here waiting for hours telling you the exact same thing. Don't you think they have a point? Defund the police, refund social services as a replacement, use the SJGP funds to end qualified immunity for police officers, hold them accountable, remove officers accused of misconduct, and withhold pensions and administrative leave for officers under investigation. When we voted you in, we will vote you out.
Thank you. The person with the phone number ending 8440. Well, Hi, welcome. Okay, let's try C, Valenzuela.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Sierra Valenzuela, and I've lived in San Jose my whole life, and I've stayed here even though many of my friends have had to move away because of rising living wages and rent and all that. But I always felt safe in this city, and I was one of those protesters who was out there earlier this month, and I gotta say that I did not feel safe at that time. I remember telling one of my friends who was with me, you know, at least we're not in a city like LA where we have to worry about things like violence as often as they do. But we were in a peaceful protest and there was violence. And if the police aren't protecting me, I just want to know who it is that they are protecting because I'm pretty sure that I pay their wages. Thank you for my time, though, and I yield the rest of it.
Thank you. Andrea?
Hello?
Yes. Hi, Andrea.
Hi, I'm a student and I work in the area. I was born and raised in San Jose. I live in District 2, but I was raised in District 9. And I have experienced what it means to have a budget cut. I had to go to 3 different elementary schools because my schools could no longer afford to keep us in those schools. So I know what it's like to be shifted around and how traumatizing that can be for students, especially minority students. So I would like to relocate the funds from San Jose Police to education and things that actually will improve the community instead of keeping it to benefit the corporations, which are ultimately the ones profiting off of the huge police departments. And just quickly want to say that I hope that more of these meetings will occur outside of working hours so that the working class can participate in the future, because it's unfortunate that we're only allowed to participate now that we're in shelter in place. Thank you.
Thank you. Raul? Raul?
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, welcome.
Hi. Yeah. So I think everyone's kind of they have it nailed right here on the head. But I want to say with the police budget, you can also get 88 million slices of pizza, 29.3 million large one-topping pizzas, 880 million pounds of mozzarella cheese, 88 million pounds of sausage, 880 new pizza shops, 22 million hours of wages at $20 an hour for pizza shops, 12,600 professional pizza ovens, and 146.6 million pounds of sauce. That's all just with the San Jose Police Department budget. We know you love pizza, Sam, and yeah, we see you smiling. We know you love that pizza, so we're gonna make sure that we reform the system and get you that pizza.
Thanks, Raul. Indy, welcome.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, Indy, welcome.
Oh, hi. My name is Indy Dang. I'm a resident of San Jose, born and raised, and it's my first time participating in the city council, and I just felt compelled to add to the chorus of voices calling to invest more funds into community support and to divest from the SJPD, following the examples of many cities in the nation. And yes, you've heard this, but especially now with COVID-19 during nationwide economic crisis, you know, as schools and businesses adjust to meet new higher health standards, it's going to be extremely important for them to have the resources they need. And the fight with this pandemic is going to be extremely long, as we're seeing. So education, housing, homelessness, it's all, you know, directly related to public health. And the only thing that's not related to public health would be the police force that we continue to militarize and invest in financially, a force that brutalizes in communities of color and won't even wear masks sometimes. And so I know you say it's thinly staffed, but it's a circular argument. So Black Lives Matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, Sarah.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, welcome.
My name is Sarah Powell. I'm a health educator and a resident of District 10, and I'm calling to join those who demand the defunding of SJPD and the reallocation of those resources to education, mental health, and other community services. As others have mentioned, surface level reforms are simply unacceptable when residents of our city have been tear gassed and shot at with rubber bullets during protests. There is no reason for us to invest so heavily in a militarized police force that disproportionately harms communities of color. And I invite the mayor and the rest of city council to see the reallocation as an opportunity to make San Jose a progressive leader as one of the largest cities in the US. In 2019, our county counted nearly 10,000 unhoused individuals, almost half of whom suffer from mental or emotional health problems. And when someone is experiencing a mental health crisis, we shouldn't just have the armed police to call upon, putting them at risk rather than giving them the care and support they need. As someone with deep roots in San Jose, I'm proud of the community for speaking up and standing up for what's right.
Thank you, Sharon. Veronica?
Hello, my name is Veronica, and I am a member of the Reinvest for Racial Equity Allen Rocks School Now Coalition. Are you a priest now, Mayor of Sam? You only listen and not do anything and wait for some God to answer our prayers and demands? Because we didn't elect God to represent us. We elected you, Sam Ricardo, Chappie Jones, Sergio Jimenez, Raul Perales, Len Deep, Magdalena Carrasco, Deb Davis, Maya Esparza, Silvia Arenas, Pam Foley, John Cagney's. We ain't playing with our Black, Brown, and Indigenous lives anymore. Our children will not fund those prisons, and we won't let you ruin their lives, take away their rights anymore. You are the problem. Our Black, Brown, and Indigenous children need those who believe in them in their fullest and not who believe they should be locked up. We demand you put the money we put in the police and resources for our Black, Brown, Indigenous children well-being. Enough, Trascardo. We need leaders, not money sniffers. Again, if you can't do it, step aside for those who can. Also, all of our city forums are in English, even though 57% of speak a different language. Another way of oppression, not the first time we have called that out. Black.
Andrew, welcome. Andrew, your device appears to be muted.
What's up, guys? Can you hear me?
You can. Welcome.
Right on. My name is Andrew Bigelow. I'm from born and raised in San Jose in the east side. I live in District 6 right now. I'm an organizer with Silicon Valley Debug. I just want to encourage you guys to adopt the divestment from San Jose PD as according to the letter written by the families of who have lost loved ones to San Jose Police Department. In my last 30 seconds, just want to say the audacity, Sam, to take a knee with protesters, and then when they turn around and tell you what they want, for you to not listen to that and to disregard that in the manner in which you have. You list all the names of the people who have lost to police violence, and you did not include the names of the people in your own city. That is absolutely disrespectful. You still have not fired those officers, and you're refusing to defund the police right now. It's whack as shit, man.
Amelia, welcome, Amelia.
Hi, Mayor Ricardo, City Council. My name is Amelia Yarapothu. I've lived in District 8 of San Jose since I was 2 years old. I'm asking you to reconsider our budget and defund the police. You've already received a letter from SV Debug and a list of demands. You know what specific policy proposals your constituents are asking for. Mayor Ricardo, you've spent a lot of time in the last few days arguing with people on Twitter about this, insisting that SJPD has already conducted enough reform, nitpicking about how much money we actually spend on affordable housing. You're missing the point. I understand that SJPD has been enacting reform. We are telling you that those reforms are not enough. The lived reality of San Jose residents right now, where folks exercising their First Amendment rights are attacked by militarized force, where Black and Brown residents are regularly exposed to police violence, is unacceptable. Sure, you might have done more than some other cities, but y'all do not get to be graded on a curve. Stop being defensive and start getting serious about starting the process of defunding the police and reinvesting in our communities. Black Lives
Thank you. Welcome. Caitlin, I believe your device is still muted. Caitlin, your device appears still to be on mute.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Welcome.
Perfect. Hi, my name is Caitlin, and I'm a resident of District 8. I am also a therapist at Gardner Health Services. As someone who has seen firsthand the lack of mental health funding within our city, I request that San Jose divest their money from their police to other services such as mental health, Black-led organizations, education, rehabilitation services, housing, and transformative justice approaches to increase accountability rather than the violence within our community. Rather than penalizing and criminalizing Black and Brown communities, crime is not random, but rather an expression of systemic racism that has plagued our nation, and marginalized communities are not getting their needs met. Please uphold a racist system, and we are done with reform policies that are not working. Thank you, and I yield my time.
Thank you. Air Angel? Welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Welcome.
Hello, my name is Emily Rangel, District 5. Please don't throw away this opportunity. The SJPD funding for this fiscal year is at the hand of our Black and Brown communities' safety and well-being. You have the power to redirect our tax dollars similarly to Minneapolis. The $4 billion is not your money, and I urge you to listen to your community. It is your job to listen to your community and take action immediately. This cosmetic reforming is ineffective. Please defund the police, Black Lives Matter, and your community demands the immediate defunding and demilitarization of the old and racist, violent SJPD. Invest in first responders, mental health, sexual assault, substance abuse, invest in hospitals, housing, libraries, parks, resources to close the opportunity divide. Thank you, I yield my time.
Thank you. Nicole, welcome.
Hi there, can you hear me?
Yes.
Fantastic. My name is Nicole Rivers, and I've lived in District 4. Follow steps taken by Mayor Breed of San Francisco and by the Cahoots program in the city of Eugene, Oregon. Redirect emergency calls to organizations that specialize in handling homeless, mental health, and neighbor disputes. Eliminate the police to fund those organizations. The police have failed. Reform has failed. Try asking the families of Anthony Nunez, Diana Showman, Daniel Pham, and countless more. The rest of my time goes to, well, the rest of my time goes to the people. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Rolando?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, welcome.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I would just like you guys to focus on the word demilitarization. Defund has already caused a great stigma, and people are already forced on their position. You need to focus on demilitarizing the police. San Jose, as such an evolved city, does not need to be patrolled like Nazi Germany. We don't need a tyrannical force with historical racism built in to watch over us. Second, I'd like you to focus on the amount of trash around the side, around every freeway. Every side is full of trash that will probably lead to another pandemic. We need to set up some kind of pickup for the trash around, and also public bathrooms. If you haven't seen a homeless man's butt, then you haven't lived in San Jose long enough. So in conclusion, demilitarize the police is the main focus. Please focus on demilitarizing the police and pick up the trash. San Jose is filthy.
The phone number ending in 5415. Welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Welcome.
Hello?
Yes, welcome.
Hi. Hi, my name is Pauline, and I'm a lifelong resident of District 8, and I'm a public health nurse with the Santa Clara County Public Health Department, working specifically with First 5 Santa Clara County and providing case management services for children aged 0 to 5 with open CPS cases. I'll get straight to the point. Defund our militarized police force that inflicts and instigates racial, gendered, and sexual violence on our communities, especially our Black, Brown, and Indigenous populations. It is a public health issue. You need to invest in our people and communities by funding services for healthcare, mental health, education, housing, and other social programs that are essential to our community's health and well-being. Recognize that your silence and inaction on this issue is deafening to the community that you are supposed to serve. Do your job as public health officials, and listen to the constituents who have the power to vote you out.
Thank you. Thorson? Hillary?
Hi, I'm Hillary Thorson. I'm Library and Early Education Commissioner for District 6.
I'm asking you to increase the San Jose Public Library's funding, not cut it. The library is critical to the city's response to COVID-19 as a second responder. Any cut is detrimental, especially to the Black, Latino, and Indigenous communities already facing the greatest impact from COVID-19. The library is a safety net for these communities and has broadened its reach into underserved communities over the past few years. Any cuts mean a reduction in library hours and staff that could be supporting these communities as they get back on their feet, helping them by providing educational resources when many school libraries have been closed, providing workforce development services, and increasing digital inclusion. This would slow the city's recovery. Increasing library funding at this time would be a strong show of support for equity and social justice in the city. I yield my time.
Thank you. Vanessa?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Vanessa Bermudez, and though I am no longer living in San Jose, I have been a resident of the city for many years, so what goes on in San Jose still concerns me. Mayor Liccardo, in your Medium article on defunding the police, and you wrote, and I quote, "Yet defunding the police will undermine our efforts and keep San Jose's community safe, particularly for those members of our community who have suffered the most from systemic racism." Mayor Liccardo and members of the City Council, it does not seem that you are listening to the people of San Jose, to the people who have, quote, suffered the most. Our communities have been saying for decades that the police do not make us feel safe. Why are you not listening? Why are you so insistent on keeping this perspective that the police are actually here to keep Black and Brown and Indigenous and queer and trans and disabled communities safe? You do not have our perspective, so you must listen to our real experiences and act on it. You are all in this position to do this. I urge you to divest from the San Jose Police Department and reallocate funding back into our most marginalized communities. Please.
Thank you. Linda, welcome.
Hi there, my name is Linda Stewart. I'm an organizer with Showing Up for Racial Justice at Sacred Heart, and I'm a lifelong resident of San Jose. Mayor Liccardo, in your June 8th budget message, you stated that defunding the police would cause white communities to hire private security companies. And this would cause communities of color to, quote, struggle with robbery and vandalism without recourse, end quote. Mr. Mayor, those don't sound like the words of somebody who actually wants to do something to reduce crime or who wants to see real change. Those sound like the words of someone who believes that crime is inevitable and a foregone conclusion. But the truth is, divesting budget from the police means investing in housing, education, community services, libraries, social workers, mental health experts, rehab clinics, and so much more. And those are the tools San Jose needs for a long-term, sustainable solution to violence and crime. That's what we're asking for when we ask you to defund the police. I support the People of San Jose demand letter. Thank you.
Thank you. Benny?
Hi, my name is Benny Arana O'Hara. I live in District 2. I'm in the Masters of Social Work program at SJSU and work in community mental health. Policing is a regressive response to the problems we face, and by decreasing funding to essential social programs, we are only addressing the punishment of crime rather than the prevention of it through systemic causes. Speaking from experience responding to crisis, police involvement typically escalates crisis situations in an unnecessary way. Despite having every resource provided to the intervening officers and a $200,000 salary difference, police were frequently unwilling to self-regulate and practice trauma-informed care. The only tools that they had were violence, intimidation, and authority. The lack of specialization and toxic power dynamics at play makes law enforcement inappropriate for the jobs they are being called upon to do, and the funding being allocated to policing when they're so limited in their skill set, myopic in their response, and racist in their application is a misuse of funding which could be invested in more effective alternative solutions. Please consider, as elected officials, how many constituents each of you would need to hear from.
Thank you. Fina? Fina, your device appears to be muted. Fina, could you unmute your device? Right, Fina, it seems to be that there's a problem with the device, so we'll come back to you. Cody?
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi, I am a resident of San Jose, California, in District 6. business as usual, and incremental reforms are not working. People are being in prisons, they're dying at the hands of the police, and no one. It is time for the city to stand up for all of the citizens, especially people of color and indigenous communities. This is why.
I'm sorry, Cody, the audio is very poor. We're not actually able to hear you right now. If you want to try to find better connection, it may help. Mishi?
Hello, Mayor, council members.
Welcome.
Thank you. I don't see my District 5 representative, Magdalena, on the screen. I hope that she's listening because council members, this comment is really for you. The San Jose Police Department union contract expires on June 30th. It is being negotiated now by the city manager. Council members, the city manager must do what you tell them to do. Demand the city manager negotiate hard. Demand police accountability. Remove anything from this contract, this union contract that protects police from the repercussions of their actions. Hundreds of police brutality complaints have been logged these past few weeks. When these lawsuits are settled, that money is coming from city coffers and from grants that cost taxpayers money. Police lack accountability. This will bankrupt our city. Council members, you must order the city manager to negotiate hard. You must make police accountable for their actions. Thank you.
Thank you. Marielle? Welcome.
Hi, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Hey, so this is my first time participating in a city meeting. I really don't like to make waves, and I don't plan to. I'm a mother of 4, homeowner, San Jose, District 3. I live across the street from Sam. So a couple of things. I have a background in law enforcement. I graduated the academy in 2011, and I'm ashamed of that. It makes me sick to know that I sat and watched the men and women in that class exhibit these symptoms and these behaviors that stem from systemic racism, and it just really hurts my heart to see that. And I want to share that I really feel like I'm sorry, I'm totally out of time. If we could review those law enforcement code of ethics, if we could really just evaluate our department. I've been traumatized by San Jose PD, myself, my family. We should talk about it more.
Thank you. Courtney?
Hi, my name is Savannah Marquez, and I demand City Council to prioritize defunding and the demilitarization of police, along with the redistribution of these funds to education systems, healthcare systems, libraries, and low-income communities. From personal experience, along with many testimonies from others, I do not feel safe in the presence of SJPD. They misuse their power to inflict violence on people of color and blatantly peaceful protesters. Do your job and listen to the people who are crying out for help. Black Lives Matter.
Thank you. Christina?
Hi, my name is Christina, and I am a recent graduate of the San Jose Unified School District. My school was predominantly Hispanic, so Sam Ricardo, your concern for that community is misplaced and will only criminalize them further and cause them more harm. The most caring teachers were overworked and underpaid, forcing them to leave the school. These teachers were the ones who empowered and championed for low-income students of color like me. I had to watch my teachers have breakdowns because they weren't able to focus on their students since their class sizes were being pushed past the maximum capacity. My school didn't have enough funding to hire more teachers. Defund the police, invest in our school systems, and invest in our future. I yield my time.
Thank you. Alicia?
Hi, I am Alicia Gonzalez. I am a Santa Clara County Library worker, currently serving as a disaster service worker for COVID. And it's clear you don't care about libraries because of the way that you merge the positions for the San Jose City. That's why I'll probably never be able to transfer there. But also, I mean, just talking to the sheriffs and talking to cops and the way that they are being groomed in their training on handling the public isn't a positive manner. You groom them to be defenseful automatically before they take any action. They don't listen to everything because they're not taught to listen to anything. They're taught to act, and you need to fix these finances, because there are so many other ways you could be spending your money, not trying to get these analytics. You can Google that stuff. You can Google what's right and what's wrong. You don't have to hire a third party to figure that out. Defund the police.
Thank you, Veronica. Veronica, welcome. Veronica, your device isn't making any sound right now. Veronica, I'm sorry, you may have to download a more recent version of the software.
I think it's just your device.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, Veronica, the device doesn't appear to be transmitting. Gerardo? Welcome, Gerardo. If you could unmute your device, please. Gerardo, you need to unmute your device so we can hear you. No. Okay. Gerardo, we're still not able to hear you right now.
What the hell's going on?
All right. Want to try pulling back up?
Yeah.
Okay. Gerardo, welcome.
Hello.
Hi, welcome.
All right, there we go. All right. Everybody seems to agree that we want police reform and to reallocate money from the SJPD budget to resources that will help lift our community and help us progress, which I am all for. Honestly, it does not seem that you have the public support or trust. You want your community to start trusting you, start holding officers accountable. Make there be real consequences for bully cops. Everybody knows cops will always protect other cops, no matter how corrupt. That's just how cop culture is. However, that's not how it should be. Many cops are a bunch of power-hungry pricks that go home and beat their wives after a long day of terrorizing the community. Regular people shouldn't be scared of cops. Cops should be scared of the people and remind themselves that they are here to serve and protect, not intimidate and hurt. You need to start taking real action and making real change now. A good start would be by firing Jared Ewan. These cops need to know that there are consequences to their corruption. I yield my time. Black Lives Matter.
The person on the phone number ending 6490.
Hi, yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Treasure from District 5. Can you tell me why teachers have to dig into their own wallets to buy supplies for their students, but police officers never have to buy their own bullets? Defunding the police sounds pretty radical until you realize we've been defunding education for years. You're cutting library staff and hours. Libraries would provide countless resources for all ages, from getting a high school diploma online to help finding a job to workforce development for communities of color, but we'll always make sure there's enough money to hire more police to stalk, harass, abuse, and kill us. I would like to remind you that a gun cannot teach a child how to read. A police officer wielding a baton cannot help a man find a job. By cutting library staff and funds, you are actively taking away life-giving opportunities. You cannot punch, shoot, or arrest away the problems that arise as a result of conditions you have created. You have failed to support San Jose citizens. I demand that you divest from state-sanctioned violence and invest in our city and our people.
Thank you. Sanika?
Hello.
Hi, welcome.
Hi, my name is Sanika Mahajan, and I'm a lifelong resident of Santa Clara County and a student at Harvard. I would like to address several direly misguided points made in the June 9th article on Medium. Mayor Liccardo, you suggest that increased police staffing is needed for sexual assault and domestic violence units. As a survivor and a longtime organizer for sexual justice, I know that police involvement is only ever ill-informed, increases trauma, and victim shames. Police involvement means that the violence has been prevented too late. Mayor, you said that mothers of BIPOC school children plead for you to counter gang and gun violence, yet you ignore the armed violence and escalation that police bring to these same communities, and ignore that funding needs to be directed toward crime prevention instead, including education, mental health, and trauma-informed care for these same school children. You mentioned boosting spending on police to address fatigue decision-making. Racism is not fatigue decision-making. It is what the system is based off of. Police forces were created to continue indentured servitude after slavery, and racism cannot be reformed out of them. It is possible to defund SJPD while also increasing funding to other community solutions to safety issues in San Jose. Thank you.
Thank you. Lisa?
Hello, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, welcome.
Hi, my name is Lisa. I've been a resident of San Jose for most of my life now. The time you've allowed the public to be heard today is not nearly enough. The cries of the Black and Brown communities have been ignored relentlessly for years. It is nothing new. We are told to obey the law, yet at some point, families of color still need to routinely prepare their children, such as mine, about how to behave when approached by law enforcement, because that parent already knows what may happen to them with just the slightest wrong blink of an eye. This is not the first time I've had to discuss with my son about the racial injustice in our world. It kills me that this is still a conversation that I know will have to be talked about to my future children and his own. Police need to be held accountable for their actions, continuing the dismissal of their brutality, and is literally harming and killing innocent Black, brown, and indigenous lives everywhere. We are asking that the funding for the police department is redirected to community support, such as education, healthcare, homelessness support, childcare, immigration resources, affordable housing.
Thank you. The phone number ending in 045. Welcome. The person with the phone number ending in 045. Welcome. Okay, Emily?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, welcome.
Okay, so there are many issues I have with the proposed budget. First of all, why is the golf budget going from $2 million last year to $10 million this year? But more importantly, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but it looks like only 0.4% of the entire SJPD budget is dedicated to crime prevention. This speaks volumes to the city's police's priorities. If you really refuse again to defund the police after all these calls and fees to, let's start by focusing where police money is going internally. We can start with SJPD salaries. SJPD officer starting salary has no business being $98K. And academy training pay is $46 an hour. Why are officers in training getting paid almost twice as much as medical school graduates in residency? I urge you to look into Chief Eddie Garcia. Why did he reinstate a rapist? Why does he refuse to fire JUN despite the community demanding for it, expressing that they don't feel safe with him on the streets? He is obviously more concerned in protecting his officers than the livelihoods of San Jose citizens.
Thank you. The phone number ending 1169. Hi, welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Sophia Nguyen, and I'm a resident of San Jose. I would like to say to San Jose City Council, I want to preface this by saying I believe you have a responsibility to listen to your constituents calling for changes in policing and the end of systematic racism in the police force. I demand the defunding of the SJPD. A 2012 audit found that the SJPD is insufficiently performing its mission statement, and San Jose has a long history of police brutality, such as tear gassing innocent and peaceful protesters just a few weeks ago. There are many more reasons, but these are a few reasons why money in our city's budget should be going towards the community, the same community that the police have been terrorizing. We should invest in our schools, childcare, our teachers, and our libraries. And our schools are notoriously underfunded. Why do teachers have to pay out of pocket for it? We are watching and paying attention to any band-aid solutions the city council makes. Defund the police.
Thank you. Hi, team. Welcome.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, hi. Thank you for letting me voice my concern. Mayor Liccardo, your support for reform over reallocation hints at your intentions. Reform allows for loopholes and continued exploitation and police brutality. We are aware of how detrimental and unfortunately fatal this is for Black and Brown communities, and we will not allow you to continue this anymore. I demand that you divest funds from SJPD to vital social services. If San Jose can afford $440 million for a violent police force, but a meager $5 million to housing when there are 6,000 homeless San Jose residents, I think you definitely have the resources for defunding and reallocation instead of futile reform. I'd like to remind you that the funds that you are allocating to the SJPD are our taxes, and as taxpayers, we demand that our taxes be used for social services instead of SJPD. Remember, we voted you into position And if you do not listen to your constituents, we will vote you out. Thank you.
Thank you. District 8, welcome. District 8, you appear still to be a mute. Your device is muted right now. District 8.
Hi, can you hear me?
There you go. Yep.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi, Mayor Liccardo and City Council. This is Jeremy Barus, Director of Civic Engagement with Siren. As an immigrant and refugee rights organization, we stand in solidarity with our Black brothers and sisters and with the community and join in on the call for the mayor and council to defund police and invest in our communities. The mayor and city council have a unique opportunity to defund police in a way that is significant. So we ask for you to please stand up for our communities and defund police and invest in our communities so that we can flourish and thrive as a community together. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Next
you.
speaker-
Oh, go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Next speaker is Patrick.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay, so Mayor Liccardo and council members, I just want to say, whether it be as a citizen, as a city council, or as a police department, we all have a budget to work with, okay? And we have to do the best with the resources. We have to do the best we can with the resources available to us. We're all losing money, jobs, and resources right now, and we still have to do the best with what we have. If a teacher can be paid a 5-digit salary and still perform to the best of their ability, but SJPD can retain violent, corrupt officers, pay them 6 figures, and still complain about being thinly funded, it shows you clearly where each of their priorities lie. Reform alone has not and will not work. Listen to your citizens. If the police department can't do their job with the resources available to them, that is on them. They need to spend their money wisely, just like the rest of us. If you truly want to reform them, decrease their budget in proportion with every other area that has been cut, and write new legislation to guide them to utilize those funds correctly. Thank you.
Thank you, Miriam. You're next.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Mario and I am a lifelong resident of San Jose. I currently live in District 5. I support the Black Lives Movement and defunding the SJPD. The proposed budget is too small and you have the ability to go farther. And I demand you reallocate the funds from the police department to fund organizations that support mental health, education, library, healthcare, housing, drug rehabilitation, and childcare. Thank you.
Thank you. Yan Yin.
Hello, my name is Yanine, and I am a resident of San Jose District 3. I asked you to defund the police department and divest this money to support our social services and programs. One example is to divest 5% of the police department's proposed budget towards the Office of Racial Equity so they can take action to address systemic and institutional racism in San Jose. As a survivor of sexual assault, when I reported my case to the police department, the San Jose police officer responded by shaming me. Clearly, training is not enough. We've seen this happen when the police shot their own anti-bias trainer on May 29th. Why hasn't there been any action taken towards the police officers who shot this trainer? We need to make sure that we divest from the police department and instead support a new generation first responders who are trained to respond to domestic violence, gender-based violence, and mental health. Please listen to us. We are your constituents.
Thank you. Phone number that ends in 3859.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, hi. My name is Regina. I was born and raised in San Jose, lived here my whole life. I'll start by saying my father is Rudy Cardenas. Let me say it again. Rudy Cardenas, he was killed by law enforcement in 2004 on 4th Street in San Jose. We need to defund the police. I stand with Silicon Valley Debug and what us families put together. Unfortunately, I met a lot of families through police violence. We need to defund, get rid of these officers. People complain all the time that, oh, How come we're paying taxpayer money to pay out these settlements? If we didn't have these rogue cops on the force doing this over and over, we wouldn't have these situations. We're so diverse in San Jose. We need to be better. We can be better. You need to help us be better. You need to defund the police.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jake?
Good afternoon, everyone. City Council, my name is Jake Tonkel. I'm running to represent District 6 for the next 4 years. I've literally spent the last year going door to door having conversations about what people want to see in the city of San Jose. Affordable housing, good paying jobs, good schools, healthy lifestyles. Unfortunately, irresponsibility, blindness to racial and social justice, and disinvestment from needed community programs have exacerbated the problems we're trying to solve. Our own local studies show housing the unhoused saves hundreds of millions of dollars. That we invest in first 5 childcare, making a 400% return, and bold emissions reductions will save more than $5 billion over the next 30 years. Even investment in the arts has positive financial returns for us, yet we continue an old way of thinking, one that wastes money band-aiding systemic inequalities in our community with violence, eviction, displacement, and gentrification. We need a stronger commitment to equity, not an experimental project where we say, hey, look at us, we took action. It's both the morally and fiscally responsible.
Thank you. Sydney?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Hello, City Council members. My name is Sydney Lung, and I have lived in San Jose for 7 years in District 3 and 5. I'm tired of the growing urban renewal and gentrification I've seen in this city. I understand the Silicon Valley is a hub for technology and innovation, but divest from outsourcing tech companies and invest in the citizens of the city. Celebrate the cultural diversity you all brag about by supporting Black and Brown lives and community organizations. I demand justice and equity for brown and Black lives by providing accessibility to resources and long-term funding for housing needs. Instead of redeveloping the city and police department, I demand the building of better infrastructure. We need to defund the police and allocate a new sector of first responders to 9/11 calls regarding mental health, violence, sexual assault, gender-based violence, and abuse. Devote your support to the welfare and protection of the general public, not.
Thank you. Kate?
Hi, I'm Kate. I live in District 6. Right now, the general fund budget for the SJPD is more than the housing, parks and rec, and transportation budgets combined. We cannot police our way into equity and prosperity. Listen to the people you've been elected to represent. We've been incredibly clear. Fund housing, libraries, and mental health services. Defund the police. We've offered you plenty of specific demands and solutions. Try any of them.
All right, thank you. Cody?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Hi, this is Cody Brown from Local Union 393. A message to San Ricardo. The unions first endorse you, and then you turn your back on the unions. The city voted you in, endorsed you, then you turn your back on the city. Last night, I was riding my bike downtown Guadalupe Trails. I got a flat tire on a dope needle. Last night, also, my parents had an attempted breaking and entering in their house. It took 45 minutes for the police to arrive. So I want to say demilitarizing the police would be a great idea, as their weapons are useless and unnecessary, or they don't even show up to protect the public in the first place. I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you. Karina?
Hi, my name's Karina, and I'm daughter of Rudy Cardenas. I will say that your moment of silence didn't include any of the families in San Jose, and that was just super disrespectful to the families, as we are the ones in your community who suffer daily and have trauma. And not only did it suffer me at 18, it affects me as a wife, as a mother, because I'm still dealing with the trauma today. And You refuse to meet with families that want to have open dialogue and want to talk to you about how we're impacted and how we're treated, not only by the police, but by the district attorney's office. And we've been fighting for 16 years in this community for change, and it breaks my heart that I'm meeting new families, new children that are going to be suffering like me.
Thank you, Kareem. Nikita? Welcome.
Hi. Yeah, my name's Nikita. I lived in Almaden nearly all my life, and I'm disappointed to not have even seen a memo from my council member, Johnny Camus, about police brutality or his plans to support the community. So I'm back here to speak directly to you all. Mayor Liccardo, your point last week about domestic violence requiring police intervention is based on a narrow view of what it means to protect a community. It is a fact that only 45% of domestic violence was reported to police in 2018. And I quote from a criminology study written in 2000, quote, even amongst women who call the police, fear of separation dissuades many from seeking arrest and dissuades many more from seeking prosecution. All of these women want the violence to stop, but not at all costs, end quote. Consider that Black women face higher rates of domestic violence than other populations, but have to weigh this against calling the police, who could potentially kill their partner. The systemic racism built into our police system harms our communities in so many ways. Even in this example for why they might be necessary, please do your research, stop cutting our public library hours, and defund the police. Black Lives Matter.
Thank you. Elizabeth, welcome.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Welcome.
All right, thank you. So my name is Elizabeth Jimenez. I'm speaking for the children, students that I worked with for over 15 years in dozens of schools, mainly in San Jose, District 5 and District 7. Children I worked with, some now adults, are part of the vulnerable communities that we speak about, meaning impoverished communities. Impoverished is a verb, and poverty is a root cause of crime, violence, and health problems. Impoverishing people is violence against our communities. Over-policing is psychological violence. Therefore, I ask that the leadership of San Jose redirect funds from the San Jose Police Department to education and to housing for low-income residents and residents of color. Proper and affordable housing and enough food should be unconditionally accessible to working people and their families, children, and those unable to care for themselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Anne, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm a resident of District 7, born and raised, and I'm speaking to you today with the same sentiments as those who spoke before me. I'm calling for the defunding of the police and would like to reiterate that this is not calling for a total wipeout, but rather taking on the divest and invest model, where we allocate funds from the very bloated police department budget towards the long list of community needs, such as community programs, education, housing, drug rehabilitation, addressing the homeless crisis, mental health services, etc. By shrinking this massive budget, we can help help end decades of racially driven social control and oppression, as well as address social problems at the root instead of investing in an institution that further oppresses and terrorizes communities. Please be leaders and listen to your constituents. Black Lives Matter.
Thank you, Paul. Paul, your device is still muted. Paul, your device still appears to be on mute.
Hello?
Yes, welcome.
Okay, this is Paul Soto. I'm a lifelong resident of the Horseshoe, born at Valley Med, and I got 15 ancestors buried at Oak Hill Cemetery. And my mother, my father, my tias, my grandmothers all experienced saucy puedes back in the 1930s and 40s and picked fruit and built the economy of this city. Okay, I'm gonna trust what Esparza and Jimenez are doing in their memos. I read them. I would defer everything and I trust that they're going to do what is necessary to do for the city. But I really like what Kat stated earlier when she stated that taxation without representation. The reason why we have that phrase now is because of the Boston Tea Party. These people went up onto private property, destroyed that property, and that formed the foundation of the American Revolution. Remember, Demoskratis. Demoskratis is Greek, and it means the power of the people. And that is the kind of democracy that we have today. That's where we get the word democracy.
Thank you. Becca?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so on Twitter, Mayor Ricardo, I saw that you said defunding the police wouldn't work in SJ because there are 1.3 police officers to 1,000 residents. Still plenty enough to have 120% increase of deadly force since 2016. Plenty to still commit racial and classist violence. You provided a thoughtless reactionary statistic. I heard children during these hearings with thoughtful analysis and imaginings for the future. In the words of Angela Davis from last week, we can come up with more imaginative ideas of accountability that does not involve locking people up in cages. Throughout these hearings, I hear librarians, teachers, social workers, abolitionists, youth, and Black and Brown community members providing a wealth of information and knowledge that are already imagining a better world and working towards that. Listen, fund them, give libraries and schools money, give Black and Brown and Indigenous communities their reparations.
Thank you. Melissa? Melissa, welcome. Melissa, your device appears to be muted right now. Melissa, we're not able to hear you because your device is on mute.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, welcome.
Hi, my name is Melissa Healy, and I'm an associate marriage and family therapist. I work for Family and Children's Services. All of my clients currently are all felons, and they are mostly gang members. In my 4 years of service with this company, I have yet to meet anybody who is a bad person. But I have met a lot of people who are underserved, under-resourced, underhoused, and traumatized. These people are victims of our systems as much as they are perpetrators of violence and crime in our community. And we have a solution, and the solution is to reallocate funds to social workers, therapists, public health workers, to be able to offload what the police have to deal with that are not crimes, homelessness, substance use disorders, mental health. The police shouldn't have to deal with these things. Let us take the load off for you, people who are trained.
Thank you. Gray? Welcome, Gray. Gray, welcome. All right, we're not able to hear from your device, Gray. Try Brittany.
Hi. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, welcome.
Hi, welcome. Thanks for welcoming me. So my name is Brittany Teresa. I'm a resident of Sunnyvale, and I've been a resident of Sunnyvale for almost 5 years now. I agree with the rest of my colleagues to defund the police and put back the money towards homelessness, domestic abuse, and also mental health. Thank you.
Thank you. Leiden, welcome.
Hey, first of all, I want to thank all the people who have commented already, very poignant, passionate comments that really exemplify the intelligence and powerfulness of this community. My name is Leiden George. I'm a resident of D3, San Jose State graduate student, Master Urban Planning Program, and 408 born and raised, Yarrayi. I want to touch on the culture and priorities of the city. Quoting a great urban thinker, it's hopeless. We can't even feed the homeless. Right now at St. James Park, there are signs all around that park that display a city ordinance that says that we residents cannot feed and clothe the most vulnerable population in the city, the homeless. And guess who enforces that? The police. It's wrong, it's inhumane, it's warfare against our community. Defund the police, fund community-led, focused initiatives. Thank you.
Thank you. The person with the phone number ending in 2226. Hi, welcome.
Hello?
Yes, hi, welcome.
Hello, Council. My name is Alicia Wright. I'm a resident of D6 and a graduate student at SJSU. I attended many demonstrations over the past 2 weeks, and I'm disappointed to say that as a military dependent, having grown up in the actual military, the closest that I've seen to wartime have been on the streets of downtown San Jose. I was forced to de-escalate tensions on the street because the PD couldn't. I stopped agitators from throwing water bottles, from breaking windows and doors. I moved garbage cans out of the road. I put out fires. I directed passing traffic. I ran into stores and chased out looters, all while unarmed and unpaid. As a resident going to college to eventually work for the planning department for this city, I will tell you that the message is loud and clear on both sides. We are failing in our relationships in the city of San Jose. If a girl without brandishing weapons and unpaid can de-escalate better than SJPD, what's the point of having them? It's time to defund the militarized police and reallocate funds to services that actually improve the community in the long run. Because when
Welcome, Annabelle. Hello, Annabelle. Welcome.
Unmute.
Yes.
Hi, so I'm 17 years old. I graduate on Wednesday, and I would like to say that 1.7 million students are in schools with cops, but no counselors. 3 million students are in schools with cops, but no nurses. 6 million schools have cops, but no psychologists. 10 million students in school with cops, but no social workers. All of this, Atlanta police officer Garrett Wolf was fired. So many officers were fired because of Mayor Keisha, the 60th mayor of Atlanta, a wife, a mom, a teacher, a woman, a powerful woman. If she's a good representation of a mayor. If she could do this, the bare minimum, then I don't see why you can't. Because it's literally this makes no sense.
Thank you, Aaron.
Hi, Mayor and Council members. As a relatively new member of San Jose who moved here for a job only 3 years ago, I was aware of the high cost of living and it was one I was willing to pay. However, I was not aware of how terribly misused these funds would be. The abysmal lack of funding for public education, libraries, and community health programs is nothing short of shameful. Had I known how horribly allocated these funds are, I wouldn't have even considered applying for a job here, which is awful because I love my job in the downtown community I live and work in. The police need to be held accountable and not tasked with jobs they are not meant to do. We all know an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Divest funds from SJPD, demilitarize the police. Demilitarize the police and respect the will of the people. Listen to our voices or we will vote you out. Black Lives Matter.
Thank you. Patty? Patty, your device appears to be muted right now. If you could unmute your device. Welcome.
Hi. I know I had a lot planned out and written out beforehand, but it was just a reiteration of everything that everyone has been saying. And I did just want to say that I support them in saying that we need to defund the police. And it's just beyond me how you can continue to support and defend an institution that has time and time again shown to be corrupt and to only further enforce violence, white supremacy, and systemic racism. I yield my time. Do your damn job.
Vicky, welcome.
Hello, my name is Vicki Matson and I live in District 3. I am a white woman who has far less to fear from the police than others in my community, but in most situations, I feel that it is no longer safe to call the police. I fear that police intervention would put others in my neighborhood at risk. So who do I safely call when someone is suffering a mental health crisis or an unhoused person is in danger? I fully support the people's call to defund the San Jose Police Department and invest in our community. It has been proven in San Jose and elsewhere that police reform does not work. We deserve to be safe. All of us deserve to be safe. Your job is to serve the people at this historic moment in our country. We need far more bold and compassionate leadership than we are currently seeing from this council. It is time for you all to step up. Invest in our communities. Black Lives Matter.
Thank you. The person with the phone number ending 8888.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, the city of San Jose needs to defund the traffic cops and start putting in more patrols between midnight and 6 when all the crime happens. All these people wanted to defund the police. I've been saying it for years, and because they really don't do anything. You know, they take an hour to show up for a call, and they typically hire horrible people and like to enforce people not sitting at picnic tables during the COVID crisis when that should not be a priority. City of San Jose needs to get their priorities together and spend money a little bit more wisely and stop paying people $400,000 a year to be a police sergeant.
Welcome, Delma.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome, Delma.
Hi, I'm a domestic violence advocate at Next Door Solutions, and I'm here to share the perspective we are hearing from our clients, which is to drastically defund and demilitarize SJPD and divest funds to community services that would actually help prevent violence. The SJ police usually does not treat survivors with respect, and their very presence can be dangerous, and especially for women of color. When calling 911, Black and Indigenous women who face higher rates of DV must weigh the very real concern that they or their partner may be injured or killed by responding officers. The resources and services that I hear our clients urgently need are restorative justice services, mental health services, first responders, public housing, job training for workforce development, education, expanding child and youth development, and digital equity and inclusion.
Thank you. Jackie, welcome.
Hello, City Council of San Jose. My name is Jackie Nguyen, and I've been a lifelong resident of San Jose. What your inaction in the midst of public outrage tells the people is that you simply do not care. We have been demanding to defund the SJPD. You've been too comfortable in your seat while the people are out on the streets, risking their lives to speak up and demand justice and peace for our Black and Brown communities that suffer most from police brutality. We, the people of San Jose, do not trust the SJPD. We do not want to fund a rotten system that overpays and gives far too much power to police officers to hide behind a tainted slogan claiming to protect and serve our communities. We want our money to go towards community building, towards mental health assistance, eradicating homelessness, towards a greater focus on education. Please do your job and show up for your community. Please.
Thank you. Camila? Welcome, Camila.
Hi, thank you. I'm speaking directly to my council member, Raul Perales of District 3. You said you were embarrassed by the unprofessional actions of the police department, but actions are louder than words. What will you do to rebuild trust in our community? During the Black Lives Matter protests, San Jose Police Department demonstrated unnecessary use of force and violence to peaceful protesters voicing their concerns. I've heard too many stories of our community members killed by police. It's clear that what you're doing is not working. As a resident of your community, I demand that you reinvest our taxpayer funds for San Jose programs that directly support equality and the needs of our community: housing, mental health, education, and health. There are too many people that are suffering, and the time to act is now. Thank you.
Thank you. Nikhil, welcome.
Hello. I'm Nikhil Dharmaraj. I'm a resident of Santa Clara County, and I'm a rising sophomore at Harvard. Mayor Liccardo, in an interview on June 8th, 2020, you referred to defunding the police as something that would be a, quote, interesting experiment, one for which you'd, quote, rather not be the guinea pig. Like you, Mayor Liccardo, I grew up in Saratoga, named one of America's top 20 most educated small towns according to Forbes in 2009, and the 8th wealthiest city in the United States according to Bloomberg Business Week in 2011. So, like you, I know what it is like to live in a world with funded schools, good public infrastructure, and almost no policing. Like you, I know that defunding SJPD and funding communities instead isn't an outlandish experiment, but the reality for so many neighborhoods in the wealthier parts of the Bay Area. In light of this, it is preposterous for you to claim that we must expand SJPD because, quote, Americans of color statistically suffer from higher rates of victimization to serious and violent crime. Such a statement ignores the real cause of this crime, which is centuries of colonization and exploitation of BIPOC communities, instead perpetuating the extremely racist idea that communities with higher populations of color are naturally more prone to criminality. The only way forward is to defund SJPD.
Gabriel, welcome.
Hi, Mayor, City Council members. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, welcome.
I just wanted to again highlight the need for the digital equity and inclusion. We've been working with the City of San Jose to support digital access and inclusion, and we're hoping that, again, the budget reflects enabling free and low cost, high speed, at least 1 gigabyte faster broadband services for low income communities, and increasing access to hardware, including tablets and laptops. We've learned a lot from the pandemic and the inability to be able to communicate with our community members around that. Also, like Pauline Nguyen had highlighted, you have $10 million budgeted for the golf course. I think you should sell off the Rancho del Pueblo golf course. It's just draining the budget, and provide it to the community so that we can develop a park and housing on there. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Veronica, welcome.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Hi, my name is Veronica. I've been a resident of San Jose for 3 years. I've attended SJSU for my undergrad, and I'm a special education teacher for a charter school in Eastside San Jose. With the majority of my students being Hispanic, I have watched many students fear to live because of the color of their skin. No child should fear existing. I've listened in and viewed these council meetings and have seen you pay more attention to what you are going to have for lunch than you do this community. I've seen so much racial injustice in SJPD. I've watched my Black and brown friends be racially discriminated against, witnessed police brutality among them too many times for no reason other than the color of their skin. They instigate and abuse their power instead of protecting and serving. I am appalled. The amount of money allocated to the SJPD and City Council salaries would be better invested into our community for people who actually need it. Mental health services, affordable housing, food banks, social services, and homelessness. Remember, you work for us. We don't work for you, and we will vote you.
Thank you. Fiona, welcome.
Hi, yeah, I know everyone's kind of gone over the same points. I just really want to emphasize demilitarizing the police and also investing more in libraries and recreational community social services. A lot of people who are disadvantaged rely on the library to look up employment resources. I know the downtown San Jose even has a social workers in the library every other Monday, so it's a really important resource that needs to be supported. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Gabe, welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. I'd first like to just thank all the beautiful citizens that have taken the time out of their days to call in, be here. It's really nice to see. I've got a specific suggestion for defunding or reallocating police funds. I think if we took away their cars and gave them little pogo sticks, they could jump around like the clowns they are. And that might be more representative of how the public sees them. Also, Sam Licardo, you're a fucking boot.
All right, we now have, based on the number of folks who have attended and raised their hand, we're going to close public meeting at 5:30, and then of course we'll be resuming council tomorrow. So at 5:30 we'll close the public hearing. Allison, welcome.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, welcome.
Hi, and thanks for having us today. My name is Allison Baroni, and I'm an organizer with Surge. I live in District 10, and I'm here today because I know that the world that I was raised to believe in as a white woman, one in which the police are there to protect all people, is simply not a reality. The experiences shared today by Black San Joseans and other San Joseans of color speak to this better than I ever could, and you need to listen to their voices. It is clear that SJPD isn't keeping people safe. At least it isn't keeping all people safe equally. We all oppose racism, and all of us must join the fight, which means that during these challenging times, we need to reinvest the budget allocated for police to community-led health and safety strategies. With this in mind, we demand that $19 million from the CARES Act be reallocated from the police to renters on the brink of eviction, and that you reallocate the fund cutting from policing to community-led alternatives to policing, the Black community, the underserved community, and underfunded community programs. I yield the rest of my time. Black Lives Matter.
Thank you. JR, welcome.
Hi. People before me have said what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it again. The police need to be defunded.
Anything else just hasn't worked. Reform has not worked. Other states have proven that reform just doesn't work. But we do have community organizations which are good at dealing with homeless people, domestic disputes, people with mental health issues. If you give them the money, we could probably get something done. Reforming the police just hasn't been working. Thank you.
Thank you. Shauna?
Hi, my name is Shauna Tran, District 8, born and raised, all Black Lives Matter. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. I'm calling to reallocate police funds to other public services such as education, libraries, youth services, housing homelessness, hospitals, and mental health, etc. While I recognize the efforts already in place to reform SGPD, we must also be realistic in reviewing the last 3 weeks and acknowledge that those reformations have not only been ineffective, but have also caused even more harm to the community and severed our trust in law enforcement. To quote a Medium article by Officer A. Cab, "My job as a police officer required me to be a marriage counselor, mental health crisis professional, conflict negotiator, social worker, child advocate, traffic safety expert, sexual assault specialist, and every once in a while, a public safety officer authorized to use force, all after only 1,000 hours of training at a police academy." So when the community calls to defund the police, we mean a systemic change with those who vow to protect and serve. We are pushing to redistribute the city budget to include all other trained specialists such as mental health counselors, social workers, medical professionals, and education specialists to respond to non-criminal activities and help secure the safety and well-being of the community.
Thank you. Sefa, welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Sefa. I live in District 5. I am commenting to urge the San Jose City Council to reallocate funding from SJPD to social and public programming that take place in our communities. It is an outrage that 44% of city funding goes toward the police department. The SJPD has seen a rise in overtime pay, which more often than not is paid out to officers responsible for harassing the unhoused and Black and Indigenous people of color. The police do not serve the interests of the people, they serve the interests of white supremacy and capital. You heard what other residents said. These are acts of warfare and psychological violence. Is this really the legacy you want to leave? Brutality, excessive force, corruption, sexual abuse, physical abuse, domestic abuse. This is what you want to be known for? It is heartbreaking to see San Jose tonight for the resources they want year after year. Defund the police and reinvest in safety.
Sefa, I'm sorry. The audio is the audio quality is very poor. You may want to try calling in again with a different device. Janelle, welcome.
Hello.
Hi, Janelle.
Hi, I'm a registered voter and a resident of San Jose. I was born and raised in San Jose in District 6. I've also lived in downtown San Jose. The homeless situation is absolutely appalling. They were chased out of their encampments. Now they're spread around everywhere else. I demand you help these people instead of giving millions of dollars to golf courses. That's absurd. There's already laid out plans for you to adopt to defund the police. Fire Jared and cops like him. Reform is not enough. Give the money to the library. Start the process of defunding policing and start funding housing and rehab clinics. Help people, stop punishing them. Improve traffic by improving public transit instead. Your job is to represent us, or you won't represent us anymore. Police the police. Get rid of.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I believe you muted yourself accidentally there, Janelle. Rosie, welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Rosie Chavez. I'm with Silicon Valley Debug, and I'm also an impacted family who lost my nephew to SJPD in 2017. I would like the police to be defunded and their militarized weapons and their covert response unit who actually took out my nephew with no regards to life. This needs to stop. You allowed them to leave his kids without a father and made them another statistic. I will be damned if they will be, though. If you can change this and have that money put towards resources, trusted resources within the community, I believe they can have a better future here. You have left every family member that has had kids and that are mothers and are wives with trauma that is endured that I can't even explain. You get to see your kids at night and they don't get to see their daddy. Their youngest baby asks for his daddy every Christmas. Change this and defund the police and invest into the community.
Gray, welcome. Gray, we're not able to hear your device right now. It may be muted. Maybe a problem with the software.
Previously as well.
Yeah. Noah, welcome. Noah?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Welcome.
Mayor Liccardo, council members, thank you. I'm a resident of District 3. The status quo of policing in this country is overly militarized, lacks real accountability, and does not serve the best interest of our community. The militarized response of the SJPD to the protests has not been acceptable. I urge you to direct more funds away from policing and toward public housing. We have a housing crisis in this city. We have been told that the closest homeless shelters with available beds for people on the streets we have tried to help are over 60 miles away. This needs to change. We need to envision a criminal justice system that acknowledges the legacy of exclusion that poor people of color have faced in the United States, but does not perpetuate and extenuate those exclusions. Thank you.
Thank you. Maimona? Welcome.
Thank you. Mayor and City Council members, my name is Maimona Afzal-Berta. I'm a school board trustee, special education teacher, and resident in San Jose. As leaders in our city, you share the responsibility of addressing racial, social, economic, and environmental inequities. Instead of supporting systematic violence against Black, Brown, and Indigenous people, please ensure that the current budget prioritizes equity for all people, and not just as an afterthought. Funds should be focused on communities with the greatest needs. As a special education teacher, I spend much of my time explaining how equality is not the same as equity. Equity means allocating resources to those who need it the most, because our system is currently not addressing everyone's needs in effective ways. Investing in digital equity and inclusion and reallocating resources to close the digital divide is one such way that you can prioritize equity. Our students, families, working individuals, and all residents need access to devices, internet, resources to live, learn, and thrive. Reinvest in our residents and put equity first, put people first. Thank you.
Thank you. Abdullah, welcome.
Yeah, hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
As a high school student and a lifelong resident of Santa Clara County, I'm happy to see my neighbors rise and demand the defunding of the police and investing in community services. You guys are not the enemy, but if you guys do not vote to cut our overfunding to the police, you guys are standing on the wrong side of history. Mayor, city council, city manager, it is clear what your constituents and neighbors want. We want to defund the police and invest in our affordable housing, libraries, mental health clinics, services, and etc. The only way we can keep our communities safe is by defunding the police and investing that money to our minority communities and other social services. Defunding the police also prevents crimes from occurring in the first place. Before I end, I just want to say that we don't need to abolish our police department, but we have to defund our police. Thank you, and I yield my time.
Thank you. Anna?
Hello, I'm a resident of District 9 and a member of Together We Will San Jose. We need to make equity funding a priority. I do want a safe community, but I want it to be safe for all of us. Funding the SJPD purchase of militarized equipment and militarized training does not make us safe. In fact, it has done the opposite and it has actively harmed our community members. I hear your justification and excuses for the behavior of the SJPD and for your budget for them, but I also hear from my trusted friends and the community, and I've seen the video about what the SJPD is actually doing, which runs counter to what you say, and your justifications ring hollow. San Jose police have shown us that funding bias training is not making our community safer. Watered down reform has not made us safer. The police need to face true accountability. Our entire policing system needs a re-envisioning and a change in culture from the top down. You say this would take time, so let's start now. Defund the police, fund equity, fund the community. Black Lives Matter.
Thank you. Alyssa? Okay, Diane?
Hello, Mayor and City Council. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, welcome.
Awesome. My name is Diane Hardinez, and I want to thank all of those in community who have spoken. I stand in solidarity with my community to defund SJPD. I'm a city employee. I work for the library department. The library department was asked to make major budget cuts due to the COVID economic crisis, For example, we recently furloughed over 500 employees. Was the police department asked to make extensive budget cuts like the library? I'm currently looking at the 2019-2020 proposed budget brief, and the proposed budget for SJPD is 33%, the library at 2%. These funds need to be reallocated. I support the community to reallocate SJPD funding to cities departments such as the Parks and Recreation and Neighborhood Services, Library Department, and other social services. Now's the time for you, Mayor and City Council members, to show your support for your community. It's not as unrealistic as you might believe. Please hear the community because more diversity trained policing are not effective. I yield my time. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Fiona?
Hello, my name is Fiona, and I'm a small business owner living in District 6, and I'm calling in about the SJPD. The SJPD treats us, the people who actually live and work and pay taxes here, as their enemies. Heck, I'm a white woman, and I would never in my life feel safe going to them for literally anything. So what am I even paying them for? If they don't serve the citizens of this city, who do they serve? I've spent years watching the SJPD claim to be reforming, but they never do. So I'm not going to accept that cop-out anymore. We know police reform doesn't work, so it's time for you to choose. Do you abolish this violent gang of thugs paid for with my tax dollars? Or do you support the abuse the SJPD inflicts upon me, my neighbors, and the rest of the city? I yield my time.
Thank you. Sam?
Hi there. Hello?
Yes.
All right, first of all, I'd like to say Black Lives Matter. And because Black Lives Matter, that means that education for Black, brown, and non-white people needs to be put at the forefront of your priorities, right? Otherwise, you're saying that effectively the treatment they get now is the treatment they deserve. As part of that, I think that you should increase the funding towards the public library system as well as much as you can with the city's education budget or reaching out to the state for more, as you said. And in addition, I think that as a resident of District 6, the police have never come to help me. They've never been needed here, and that's because there's tons of funding in District 6. I yield my time.
Mimi? Hi, Mimi. Mimi, you're on.
Hi.
We can
Hi.
hear.
Perfect. Thank you, Mayor and City Council, for taking public comments. I'm from Orchard City Indivisible, Youth Climate Strike, Rapid Response Network. I'm a student and resident of San Jose, District 3. Thank you, Mayor, for asking your colleagues to turn off their screens. The police is a snapshot of society, and the extreme violence of the San Jose PD against the people of San Jose no longer represents the communities of San Jose. I wish to amplify the San Jose community voices and groups here to defund the San Jose PD. Mayor Sam has asked Orchard City Indivisible to support his policies, so it's time for the mayor and city council to support the calls of OCI, Youth Climate Strike, and many other community groups to defund SJPD. SJPD has shown itself to be a tool of militarized white supremacy and therefore a real threat to our beloved Black, brown, disabled, and indigenous communities.
Thank you. The person with the phone number ending in 0740.
Thank you. Mayor Liccardo and council members, I appreciate the work you do in support of our city. I'm also glad you take the time to listen to us in the community, out in the community, not just here. You take our emails, you take our calls. I understand the budget items you must address to run a city. You're not here to take care of schools or transportation. Those are funded another way. I heard earlier need for Metro Ed needing help. Hopefully you can help this program, as it obviously will work to give our students a track to have a career if college is not in their means. I can't imagine being in need of help calling 911 and being directed to a social worker or a library. I appreciate all the work you do to get ready for these budget items. Please continue to fund our police. Black lives do matter. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Annie? Annie, your device is still on mute. Welcome.
Hello.
Annie?
Hi, San Jose City Council. I'm Annie Q, a first-year college student and lifelong resident of San Jose in District 7, At this point, it's obvious that there is a majorly inappropriate discrepancy between resources allocated to the SJPD and the rest of our city activities. Like the sheer majority of speakers so far, I demand that you redistribute funds towards the sectors of our city that need it most: education, rent stabilization and tenant protection, environmental sustainability, and so on. I could go on and on with facts and figures, but it would be in vain if they're just that to you. Numbers on a page rather than living people who bleed and suffer and whose only sin is the color of their skin. Our call to action: we need you to look inside of yourselves. We need you to track your biases. We need you to recognize both publicly and internally that there is a real problem with our current police system. When the sheer majority of speakers today have pushed for SJPD funding, to look the other way and feign ignorance is to fail your community. We ask you to practice basic human decency by defunding the highly inequitable SJPD. Thank you.
Thank you. Aiden?
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, so I'm not a resident of San Jose. However, I am here to defend city council as a whole. Defunding the police and getting rid of them would completely just destroy any system we have in place to protect you or others. Black people, white people, Asians, Mexicans, and it can go on, right? But if we get rid of that police force, it ruins it. I understand that there are bad apples, but that does not ruin the bunch. If there are bad apples, we reform those bad apples and reforming the training that they go through, right? And we are doing that. We are getting ready for, we're reforming them by doing mental checks and all this other stuff. So if you would please understand that, do some research instead of just coming on here and saying that we need to get rid of police. If you want to get rid of police, get rid of your safety altogether. Get rid of everything together. Gun laws, they need. Thank you for my time.
Dor or Dore?
Oh, yeah, kill all niggers.
No, we're not going to accept any racial attacks. Adnani?
Kill all fucking.
Tamra? Welcome, Tamra. Tamra, welcome.
Hi, this is Tamra. Hi, everyone. Hi, Sam, Council. This is Tamra Alvarado. I've been a resident of District 3 for over 20 years. I'm calling because I used to think that this idea of defunding the police was not pragmatic and too radical. And in the last couple of weeks, my thoughts have really changed around that. So I offer myself also as a person to talk to about that. And I actually don't know why I haven't thought about this sooner, considering that I've had family members in District 3 dragged out of their home, thrown down into the ground by SJPD because they were at the wrong house. I've been to funerals with children and a wife crying, screaming as their loved ones have been buried, shot by police, San Jose PD. And we've had members of our own Aztec dance group, young people, who've been hurt by these gigantic rubber bullets. So all of this to say, please see me as somebody that can be a part of the solution, and I'd love to talk about it further.
Thank you. Jacob?
Thank you, Sam. Hi, my name is Jacob W. And the reason why I came to City Council San Jose to talk is because I would like to bring up a story on how this is affecting us and now why we need to defund the police. One time I was driving with my mom and we were about to go get some food outside, and I saw just hells and hells of riots and fights and stuff, and it scared me off and I didn't know what to do, and they shot my mom and I still got KFC.
Kathleen Powell. Welcome, Kathleen.
Thank you so much, Mayor, City Council members, as well as all of the community members that are coming together during this challenging time to find solutions to move our city forward. I have appreciated the opportunity to sit here and listen for the last 3.5 hours to all of the stories and the voices and the pain and the words of our community. And I applaud all of you who have stayed and attentively listened to them. I talk not from where you might expect me to talk from as being part of the arts organizations here in San Jose, but as a downtown community member. I've lived here for over 25 years, and I'd like to echo the words of a previous caller about helping to get our city cleaned up. It's not devaluing any of the other comments that were made here today. You need to address these issues that were raised, but our city is becoming disgraceful. The off-ramps off 280, the homeless encampments, please provide dumpsters and help get these areas cleaned up and keep our city beautiful. And thank you.
Oh, Kathleen, I think you accidentally hit mute. Okay. Sorry, Kathleen. Cairo?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, hi, my name is Cairo and I am a resident of San Jose, and I'm calling on you today to reallocate funding from SJPD to social and public programming that take place in our communities. As many callers before me have said, we need to move funds from the police into sectors such as education, healthcare, and public services and housing that actually keep our community safe. Here are some concrete moves that you can take. First of all, end paid administrative leave for cops under investigation. This challenges the false notion that these costs are essential to public safety. These funds can be reallocated to community-based budgets. Number two, end rehiring and withhold pensions from cops involved in excessive force. This restriction reduces the ability of police forces to move around or re-engage cops known for their use of violence, and this will reduce the scale of policing also. And number three, require cops to be liable for misconduct settlements. So don't let the settlements come out of the general fund. Make the cops that are responsible pay the fund themselves.
Thank you. Sefa?
Sorry, 1 second. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I commented earlier. My name is Sefa, as I stated before. I'm a member of resident of District 5. I'm commenting to urge the San Jose City Council to
Sefa? No, Sefa? Okay. Sefa, I'm sorry. We can only have one person, each person comment once.
But you told me to call back.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You were muted.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry, that's why, because you couldn't hear what I was saying.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, but generally what I'm just trying to say is that you should reallocate funding from SJPD to social and public programming that takes place in our communities. You heard the abhorrent racist comments made earlier. These are not abstract political debates. This is murder and histories of state-sanctioned genocide. This is a culture that encourages people to make comments that treat the murder of Black people as a joke. This is absurd. The police do not serve the interests of the people. They serve the interests of white supremacy and capital. You heard what other residents said. These are acts of warfare and psychological violence. Is this really the legacy that you want to leave? Brutality, excessive force, corruption, sexual abuse, physical abuse, domestic abuse. This is what you want to be known for? It is an outrage that 44% of city funding goes towards the police department. And it is heartbreaking to see San Jose deny its people the resources they want and need year after year. Defund the police and reinvest in safer, stronger communities. All cops truly are bastards. I yield my time.
Joseph, welcome. And we're not going to accept those attacks on any other member of our community. Joseph?
Yes, hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Sam Ricardo, I'm Joseph. I live in San Jose, District 4. I would like to notice that there is an overwhelming amount of people that are commenting on this city council today in support of defunding the police, and you need to take that into consideration. Anybody that is listening to this that is still supporting the funding that we are seeing now towards the police do not understand, and we're not trying to replace the police with librarians, and we're not trying to not have any type of protective agency that's going to help us once we defund the police. Those people need to educate themselves and understand that we need to reallocate into services that are going to be more beneficial for the population. And I think you know that, Sam Ricardo. I think that now you just need to take accountability and know that we are all watching, and we need to see the change, and we're not going to stop until we see it.
Thank you. Peter? Okay, Peter, apparently you have an old version of Zoom. You need to download the latest version for the Zoom software to communicate properly. Brianna, welcome. Brianna, could you unmute your device, please? Okay, Mitch? Mitch, could you please unmute your device, please?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, thank you. I know defunding the police can sound like a radical demand, but at the time when the budget is facing cuts across the board, it's really not. And when we have social services that are underfunded, we have people who are homeless in the streets, we have insufficient mental health services, we really need to prioritize those things. We have a lot of solid data and evidence that those things actually help our communities. Whereas daily we're seeing the evidence that the police are brutalizing our same communities. We need police accountability, but we also need to reshift our priorities to really prioritize what's important to this city. A lot of people are calling and saying the same thing I am. It's a lot of votes, and I know 2 council members, Dev Davis and Lon Dieppe, are up for re-election in November. So think about what you're hearing from us. Take into account what you heard in public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I'm calling from District 9. I would like to challenge your comments on why you don't want to defund the police. So on your online video statement about San Jose budgets in low-income communities asking for more police based on the annual survey, that's because at the time of the survey, people weren't really aware of the fact that, you know, people just really don't feel safe about police, right? So what good does that do for the community? We really have to redesign public safety. People only know one form of public safety. And if that's all we know, then that's all we're going to ask for. And even if it doesn't serve us, it's like taking painkillers to help pain, but in the long term, if you get addicted to it, it's not really helpful in the long run. And that's the same thing with the police. It's not gonna help our community. So we want real change, and we have to really shift our mindsets. And I hope that everyone on the council does that.
Thank you, Sarah. The phone number ending 9145. Hi, welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Rich. I stay in District 10. I'm a San Jose resident, born and raised. Yeah, and I'm not trying to waste my whole minute, but yeah, I'm not very politically inclined, but just, you know, the climate of, you know, everything happening, everything that I've seen, I've been really active, you know, in showing up to the protests that have been occurring in downtown, and just seeing really who's doing what, and what the police are responding to. Yeah, this and it just this yeah, it's just really.
James, welcome.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so just want to say I'm not going to respond in sort of email form because I know how easy it is for you all to ignore that type of thing. Just want to say, of course, there's every time I tune into these city council meetings, there is a plethora of people who are telling you, our politicians, to defund the police, and every time, every one of you wants to say, let's reform them instead. But obviously that is not what the people want, which is your bottom line. So I want to express that, yes, obviously people like Councilmember Davis, as well as Councilmember Dieppe, who are up for re-election, acknowledge that. But I also want to say, as a resident of District 10, I just want to say that it's really, really, really infuriating to see Councilmember Kamas put up tweets asking for people to come in and say reform the police instead of defund, when he's obviously ignoring the pleas of people around this city. Thank you.
Thank you. Di Lorenzo?
Hi, my name is Dean Lorenzo. I am from District 4. I do work as a teacher at Campbell Union High School District. I'm here to ask if the Metro education is part of the budget discussion. In the classroom, I see my students succeed, and also I see some of my students slowly lose the passion of learning because of the system our schools are set up in. I do everything that I can to support them, but one thing that I know for my students that works is the Metro education in the form of SVCTE. This has pretty much re-sparked my students, and I've seen some of my students start to compete in national levels with their dental education that they got from the service. I know Linda Garcia, trustee of CUHSD, is working hard to bring funding to this program, and I hope you find the time to listen and work with her to try to bring more funding to this program. Thank you.
Mark? I'm sorry, Pedro. Forgive me, Pedro?
Can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Pedro Medina from District 6, born and raised in San Jose. Just want to share an experience that when I was in high school, I was sexually targeted by the police and, you know, mistreated, grabbed by the neck and thrown against the wall because I looked like, you know, a gangster, I guess. And I want to say that experience wasn't very helpful for my career path in, you know, education and tech now. So I want to say that education is important regardless of the experiences we live because it helps us grow, but we should not forget about the experiences we live because they really are important to talk about. And also at this point that we're living right now, it's important to address that. And I think that we should really invest more in education for minorities.
Thank you, Pedro. Mark?
Hey, Sam, good to see you. So obviously, police do important work, and I'm not here to sort of minimize them or minimize the community's concerns. But I would like to sort of put out there that, you know, police unions often make a big deal about the relationship between the size of crime and the number of police forces. We know from the data that that relationship is really thin. And then also, if you increase the sort of budget that's allocated to police, we also know that the pensions, which was like a big fight a few years ago, it creates problems down the line in terms of fiscal solvency. Not only is it a big expense now, but it's an expense that grows over time, which is worth considering in addition to sort of everything else. Thanks, Sam.
Thanks, Mark. Beatrice, welcome.
I'm not talking today.
You're on. Welcome.
What?
Welcome, Beatrice. Okay. Susie, welcome.
Hi, my name is Susie Williams, and I am a registered voter and resident in District 6. First, I understand you cannot fire Officer JUN. However, since Chief Garcia refuses to hold him accountable, it is incumbent on you to hold Chief Garcia accountable. Second, a study from McKinsey & Company showed the COVID-19 academic impact on the average student will leave them 7 months behind, Hispanic and Black students at 9 to 10 months respectively, and low-income students over a year behind. The library provides a vital resource to all residents and supports our youth and their education goals, and it is vital now more than ever. The Budget Office has requested the Library Department make a $5 million cut to its budget, or approximately 12%. Our budget is a reflection of our city's priorities, and I implore you to redirect the scarce resources we have and make our library services a priority. Thank you.
Thank you, Susie. Cordelia, welcome.
Hi, my name is Cordelia Larson, and I am calling from District 6. I want to bring to your attention 2 specific cases of police brutality in our city that I feel are underrecognized. In 2018, 24-year-old Jennifer Vasquez was shot 37 times after cops chased her down in a case of mistaken identity. They were chasing another car. They accidentally ended up chasing her car instead, and they shot her 37 times. It was on Christmas Day, and she was supposed to see her parents the next morning. They never got to see their daughter again. In 2016, Anthony Nunes was fatally shot after his cousin's desperate calls to cops for help after he shot himself in the head during a mental health crisis. The cops afterward high-fived each other while Anthony's cousin was in the backseat watching them, handcuffed, by the way. If you think these are isolated incidents that can be rooted out as bad apples, you're clearly missing the bigger picture. The systemic oppression of people of color from the current institution we recognize as the SJPD needs to be dismantled down to its foundation before anything else can be built back in its place.
Thank you. Brianna?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to listen to us here. I am a student in San Jose, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I really would hope that you listen to the people that are saying what they're saying over and over and over. I think you guys really need to take into consideration what the people want. They elected you guys into these positions for a reason. Please do your part and do your job and listen and make sure that you're doing the right thing for everybody in the community. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Peter, welcome.
Hello, my name is Peter Bennett, and I actually work for the Department of Transportation. And I've worked with many of you, city council members, mayor, city manager, on safe street projects. And so I wanted to weigh in and say that when we build a street that's safe and that has traffic calming features, that kind of street is self-policing. There's no way to drive unsafely on those streets. People using the street can see other people around. And so we are here to help, and we can address street safety through engineering rather than enforcement. And so I look forward to you leaning on all of us city service workers to come and help fill in some of the gaps that the police department's not addressing. Thank you.
Pat Wade?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Pat Waite, and I'm a resident of District 8. I remember what it was like after the Great Recession, and it's been a long road back from there. Response times were inadequate, if they showed up at all, and citizens were concerned about their safety and their possessions. San Jose Police Department remains the most efficient unit in the area with only about 95 officers per 100,000 residents. Compare that to San Francisco with 264, Oakland at 176. Even Palo Alto has more at 117 officers per 100,000 residents. I don't believe we need fewer officers. We need better policing. And I hope that you help San Jose Police Department focus on that in this coming budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Laura?
Hi, my name is Laura Clark Moore. I am from District 6. It's obvious to me through what happened to Derek Sandelin that the attempts to reform San Jose's police practices through anti-bias training and de-escalation skills training is not working. Total change is necessary. We need to defund the police and transfer the money that they no longer will need for social services and mental health services. Those need to be transferred over to our social service departments, mental health departments, and as the previous person was even speaking, to the library services that will help young people truly get the care that they need, and older people as well. So please defund the police as has been requested. Thank you.
Thank you. Anna?
Hi, my name is Anna. I'm from District 9, San Jose resident, born and raised. I'm calling in to echo the voices of so many other constituents, calling on you as council members to be accountable to the people that you serve and defund SJPD. So many people have already stated how the police do not uphold public safety, how policing endangers our Black, brown, undocumented, and unhoused residents, how the money currently allocated to police could be invested in essential public services that are suffering from austerity and actually do proactively prevent crime from occurring. So enough is enough excuses, enough needless police violence. Do what the people you claim to represent are begging you to do and defund the police. Thank you.
Thank you. Zoe or Zoe?
Zoe, you got it right. I'm just calling in to, again, echo the many people asking you to defund SJPD. I actually was lucky enough to do an internship for the San Jose library system a while ago, and that was a delightful experience, and it was great for us to be able to offer services to the community. I think we should continue to fund libraries, and we should continue, I understand that this is not part of the general budget, but we should continue to fund measures to get people into houses. I do not understand how our city can act urgently to tear gas people, but not to house people. And I want our priorities and our sense of what requires urgent action to change. And I'm asking you to defund SJPD. Thank you.
Hi, Nick.
Hi, Council. Thank you. I'm calling to also echo others in defunding the police. I'm also a public school teacher here in the San Jose area and want you to encourage the council in investing in things like Metro Ed, which highly benefit students like mine. I know, being a special education teacher with my students that really struggle with academics, Metro Ed has been an amazing opportunity for them. And if we are to lose that, it is going to be a huge detriment to our community. So please consider defunding the police and redirecting that money towards things that can really benefit our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Alyssa, you've spoken before, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Okay, thank you. Thanks to all the members of our community who have come to speak. We're going to adjourn the meeting now, and we'll convene again tomorrow.